Warning: the following content contains strong language and may not be suitable for children. This content is primarily for adults, as this is a trucking channel and truckers have filthy mouths. Please don't tweak if I say. Viewer discretion is advised.
Sweet. Hi.
How's everybody doing? Come on in. This is an open discussion. Link is pinned to the top of the chat. Welcome for any Americans, any immigrants to tap that link to join the conversation on stage, on the panel for their take on this very, 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 very touchy situation. But let's go ahead and get it started. Let's do our little shout out. Shout out to everybody that's in the building. Shout out to Axel. He's going to co-pilot this thing with me this evening. Shout out to Big Herm in the building. Shout out to all my moderators, Pippi in the building, SD Walt, what's going on? Great Polo in the building. Shout out to all the MGMs. Shout out to Brian Webb, what's going on? Who else we got? Ken Hooten, STL in the building, Tyler Green. Shout out from Maine. Craig Freeman, Free Bands, RD, Bill Bob. How's everybody doing? Come on in, come on in, come on in. Make sure you guys hit that like. C. Simmons, what's going on? Make sure you guys hit that like button. Let us know where you're checking in from. How's everybody doing this evening? How's everybody doing this evening? Hope everybody is doing well. We're gonna have a conversation today that I think needs to be had as far as American truckers versus immigrant truckers. I mean, we can even do it American workers versus immigrant workers. As far as when I say versus, not pitting two people. I'm not the person that pits people against each other. You know what I'm saying? But this seems to be a topic that I see come up a lot. So I want to get down to the bottom of it in a very educational, professional, in an educational and professional setting. And I just kind of want to understand what the grievances are. Why is there dissension? You know what I'm saying? What seems to be the issue? Because it's not coming from one side. I see it coming from both sides. I was actually perusing. You know, I like to peruse every now and then through the internet, and I was perusing through YouTube one day, and I see one trucker just go off about Americans, how immigrants are just better than Americans, the mindset, and then it went into from immigrants versus American, and then it trickled down to immigrants versus Black Americans. Then you had to just single the Black Americans down. Then I was perusing through YouTube one morning, and I seen a white American trucker um who was on the road, and he was complaining about immigrant truckers, and he was just talking about how they leave piss bottles all over the place. He says not the Americans, it's the immigrants. They leave piss bottles. They walking around with their flip-flops on. They they hate this country so much. They talk bad about the country and the people in it, but yet here they are in this country working. He says he hates going to a truck stop now because every time he goes to a truck stop, he wants, he's a trucker, so he wants to, have just a basic conversation with people in passing, but no one speaks English anymore. And he was just ranting. It was like early in the morning. I was just perusing, and he was just going on and on and on and on and on and on and on. So I wanted to have a conversation, and I know I have people that are both American, and I know I have subscribers that are both immigrants, and the link is pinned to the top of the chat. And I just want to have this discussion, like, what is the dissension? Where did the problem start? How can the problem be solved? Um, just what is the issue? You know what I'm saying? What's your thoughts? Because I know you've had, well, welcome. First of all, how you doing? How you doing? I apologize. Where are my manners? How you doing this evening, Axel?
Not bad, not bad. I'm chilling, relaxing down here in the woods, hanging out with Southern folk,
Okay.
peaceful Southern folk.
All right. All right. I've seen you've in the past. I've heard your take. I've seen you kind of lash out as far as the immigrants coming over and taking the loads for cheap, and I've heard you say the flip flop line a few times too. So, what's your take on it? Link is pinned to the top of the chat too. If anybody wants to come up and join the conversation, if there's any
You,
immigrant truckers out there, you're welcome to hit that link and come up so we can get a different uh, take on things. So, go ahead.
I think, I think to start off, the number one thing, and I come from a family that has immigrants. Immigrants from 30, 40 years ago are
Hmm.
way different than the immigrants that come now. The immigrants that came 30, 40 years ago had a passion to come to this country. They wanted to be American citizens. It was their dream. A lot of them, left from communist countries. They came from where they couldn't make any money. and they had a dream to come to the United States to build something. And when I talk about immigrants, I'm referring to 30, 40 years ago, when, even farther back, but my average is 30, 40 from when I was younger. Irish, the Greeks, the Italians, the Germans, the Polish, the Hungarian. Those people, when they came to this country, they didn't talk about driving trucks and all this nonsense. They built bridges, they built buildings, skyscrapers, they opened restaurants, diners. They were involved in everything. And the whole family worked. And I never really seen those immigrants complain about America as much as I do now. And I feel that the ones that come here now, a lot of them come from trashy countries, and they just want to come suck what they can suck out of this country. They're not coming here to do anything special for this country. I don't even see really any of them coming to build businesses. Even if you look at the trucking industry, you'll have some, they might have one truck, and they think they're a big business owner. This is not a business owner to me, to be in the trucking business, to have one truck and say that you're a big business owner in this country. Then you have another special group of immigrants that come here, and they're not the savory of characters, and they have connections with other people, and they'll bring their other people here and still cheat their own people. You know, when Greeks and I'll speak for Greeks and Italians in particular, when they came, their whole families worked and they treated them as equal. And then as the sons got older or the uncles came over, they would help them open, say, another restaurant, another store, another produce shop. They didn't try to keep them underneath their foot. You know, they didn't say, I'm the owner of this business and you're going to work for me forever. So I just feel any immigrants that come now and complain about this country, I don't even see them putting in 50% compared to the immigrants from 30, 40 years ago.
So you said the immigrants from
So
30, 40 years ago, you feel like they came over here with the purpose, obviously for a better life, but they helped when they got over here, they helped push America forward. They didn't come over here with their own
100%.
selfish reasons, but when they got over here, they worked and they contributed to helping push America forward. You send the people that are come over here now, they're pretty much selfish, and they're sending their money back to their country. Are you saying they're sucking the life
I don't
out of
remember
America?
immigrants. Yeah, that's right. Because growing up, the immigrants I known, I never knew them to, I can go into a truck stop and I'll see guys driving semi trucks, and then when they come in a truck stop, they're pulling out an EBT card. You have a man holding an EBT card, which should be for the wife and kids, if anything, and he's using it to swipe at the truck stop. To me, that's a piece of garbage. And the immigrants from 30, 40 years ago, I didn't see them walking around with EBT cards or welfare stamps. They came and they worked. They made the money. They didn't try. They didn't want anything to do with the government. They're going to work. They're going to get their money. They're going to buy their cars. They're going to buy their houses. They're going to open up their businesses. They're not going to try to say, I need my EBT, I need this, I need that, whatever I can get for free, suck the money, and then still complain about the United States. This country, if it was to ever fall, a lot of countries are going to fall. So I don't know why you would. In the United States.
Oops, I put the wrong person. Hold on.
It's supposed to be everybody. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
The United States is supposed to be everybody. When you come to the United States, you're supposed to work hard, get your American citizenship, and then you work to be an American. You can still have your nationality from your other country, but when you come here, it's like everybody. We're supposed to be the melting pot. But we have a lot of people that are splitting people apart. Even our own government splits people apart. So when the immigrants come over here and want to try to tear this country apart, to me, they have no right.
How you doing this evening, Isaac?
Hey, what's up, man? I love talking to you on Axel, man, because y'all think just like me.
Okay.
I love it.
You're older like us. You're in our age group.
Yeah. What's your take on the topic? We're talking about just the dissension between, I've been just seeing a lot of just, I don't necessarily want to call it hate. I would say dissension on YouTube, in my algorithm. In trucking, obviously this is it spills outside of trucking, right? But I want to just keep it specifically for trucking, just work in general, let's just say. The American, let's say, trucker versus the immigrant trucker. I see immigrant truckers online just spewing a lot of negativity towards American, the mindset of American. I've seen it trickle down from just outside, just American, but actually go deeper into black. I've seen black people that look like me that are immigrants just, spew hate on black Americans. I've seen white American truckers. This is within the past week. Just
But
talk
something, Mark?
negatively about immigrants. Where is this coming from? What's going on out here in these streets?
But just to get on another subject. When I just came on, I heard what y'all was talking about. And man, about 3 weeks ago, I was telling my wife, I said, baby, every time I go to a truck stop, all I see is foreigners driving these trucks. I said, what's going on? And stuff like that. And I started asking around, and the guys were saying that most of these immigrants coming over here, they're not gonna go into the plants, like most people go to a plant and work. They're gonna start their own business and stuff like that, and they're gonna get out there in these trucks and stuff like. I mean, every walking of trucking, I see a foreigner in it, because whenever I see some owner operator, I go try to talk to them, because I live close to a truck stop.
Right.
And it's always a foreigner, man, from Croatia, it's from India, it's from Africa. Every time I talk to one, man, it seems like I don't see no American truckers no more. And I'm right here in Georgia.
Why do you think that is? Where did this? How did this start? Where did it start from? How did we get to this point?
Well, first of all, I think a lot of these guys are illegal, and they got illegal IDs and stuff like that. I think these American Croatians and American Africans bringing these guys over, giving them false IDs, and they getting in these trucks and driving for these guys. I actually believe that, because there ain't no way you here in America and you can't speak no English. That's one of the criteria. You know why?
Go ahead.
You know
I'm
why?
listening.
Because
I'm going.
my wife is Filipina,
Really?
and she just got her citizenship, and that was one of the requirements. You had to speak English.
Yeah, because I remember English back when I was growing up. You had to speak English in order to get a job. But now you go to certain parts of the country, you go to a gas station, no English. You go to a specific restaurant, no English.
Yeah.
So how am I in America? I remember I was in Miami and I went to a Subway and I'm trying to get my order and they didn't understand anything that I'm at Subway in Miami. No English.
Yeah. No English.
How am I in America and it's like I'm speaking the second language.
But you see,
I'm speaking the foreign language.
But see, they did put out, and they said most of your illegal immigrants are people that came over on a visit visa and overstayed. And I believe this is true.
So when you say came over on a visit visa and overstayed, so that means they over here illegally?
Yes, they visa ran out and they stayed a lot of times.
So if I go into a Subway and a person can't speak a lick of English, you mean to tell me that the person that's working in that type of facility is there illegally working?
Probably
under the table?
Probably so, because the person that own it is a foreigner also. A legal foreigner. You know what I'm saying? They here legally.
Right. Yeah, see, I can see going to a gas station, you know what I'm saying? Because even here, you can go to a gas station, but they speak somewhat English. And I get going to Miami, like we right there where the boats come in, and I know about the Muriel boat lift and all that stuff. So I can kind of see where that situation is down there. But yet and still, that's still America. It's like when I've been to Puerto Rico before. I'm in San Juan, and it seemed like more people in San Juan speak better or more English than in Miami. And I know Puerto Rico is a part of the United States, but it's still an island.
Right.
And it's like, no, everywhere I went in Puerto Rico, I didn't have any problem translating.
Right.
But I had problem after problem after problem after problem in Miami.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah. I hear what you're saying, but it seems like it's because like I was listening to this guy the other day. He was streaming. I don't even know how I stumbled across. I was just flicking up. He was a white guy, and you know, he kept talking about how he's blonde haired and blue eyed, American, true bred American, and he was just going on a temper tantrum about these immigrant truckers. Man, he's saying that they're ruining trucking. Now I don't know. I'm not an over the road trucker. Never been an over the road trucker.
But
so
you know why he's saying
I can't.
that?
Why is he
You
saying
know why
that?
he's saying that?
Why?
Because they'll take cheaper freight and they'll live in that damn truck. They ain't gotta go home. They'll live in that truck because I seen 3 Asian guys in a truck at the truck stop up there. I seen that twice. Asian guys. I'm talking about Chinese Asians. 3 of them in the truck. And they ain't gotta go home, bro. Just like we gotta come home, see our family, or come home or do this and that. They don't have to come home. They live in that truck. Yeah.
Well, that's another thing. Touch on that. That's another thing with the foreigners, and a lot of Americans have a problem with is the foreigner will work morning to night. They don't need to live anywhere special. They don't have to worry about their girlfriends. They will tell their wives, "I'm going to work," and that wife will stay in the house cooking and cleaning. So when it comes to work, as American, you cannot beat the foreigners. That's a fact.
Right.
They will outwork us, but they're
coming from an environment. So this is the part that I don't like. This is the part, and here, check this out. Any immigrant that's out there that has a difference of opinion, you're welcome to come up because I want to understand. But check this out. Here's the part where I don't like. I don't like when I see people talking down on Americans, and then when they go further deep and then dissect Americans, they focus on black people. Check this out. The reason why I feel like a lot of immigrants have this mindset where they feel like they're better than Americans because they a lot of them feel like they're better than Americans. If the shoe don't fit, don't put it on. Don't put it on. It's because they come over here and they come to work because they're running from something. All right, they're running from poor and bad conditions. So a person that's running from poor and bad conditions, of course you TTG. Of course you TTG. You train to go. You coming from nothing. You're coming from a poor country into a rich country, and you're working, right? You're working to acquire this American dream that we have over here, right? So of course, a person that's coming from nothing, listen, if I was to lose everything today, I was saying this to a young man the other night on the live stream. I did a late live stream Friday night. I told him I was going to outwork him. He said, "No, you're not. You 44, I'm 26. I said, "Bro, I'm going to outwork you because you complaining about money and you up here talking to me on a Friday night. You saying you need to go out, you could go Uber and you could go this because your truck ain't making enough money. It's Friday night. You sitting up here talking to me. You should be out there Ubering." That right there lets me know I'm gonna come out work you. You see what I'm saying? So a person who's coming from a third world country, let's say, of course they're gonna come over here. They ain't got shit. They ain't got shit to look forward to. They ain't got shit to go home to. They trying to acquire what it is we have, right? So I can understand that from an overall perspective, but that doesn't mean that we're beneath them. That doesn't mean that our mindset is different because from the looks of it, as far as my peers in this space, and I ain't saying this to shit on nobody, and I'm speaking towards the immigrants, not the Americans, the immigrants, I'm doing better. And I'm an American. Not only am I'm an American, I'm a black American. All right? So I think it's bullshit because I did what I was supposed to do in life. I worked very hard. So it's bullshit. I don't like when they
But Mark,
spew negativity and hatred and perpetuate false narratives because it's not true. It's not true.
Mark, let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. Okay, I met my wife in Kuwait, right? You know, I went during the war with my reserve unit, and then I went back as a supervisor and maintenance on the civilian side, right?
Mm,
That's when I met my wife. Okay,
mm,
and and when I met my wife, 8 years after that, I went to Saudi Arabia and worked over there as a manager. Right, my
mm,
wife thought every American was like me. She said, "Baby," I, she, she thought every American was the hardest working, the smartest, because she saw how I got down.
mm,
Right, but once she came across that water and started working, getting up, going to work every day, she didn't
mm,
understand it. She said, "Baby, what's wrong with why people don't want to work? Why they always complaining?" You ask her that shit now. I said, "Baby, I told you before you came, everybody ain't like me." I said, "But
mm,
everybody ain't got my work ethic." I said,
mm,
especially the younger generation. And she see
mm.
that every night. 6 months she made supervisor. And she 3 years she was manager. And she telling people what to do in 15 years. Right?
Wait,
I
you
told
said you
her
said
before she got here, I said, everybody ain't like
you
me.
you gotta go
You
back
know,
to
you gotta
stand where
look
you
at
was you breaking up wherever you was standing at a few minutes ago. You gotta go back there. You got to go back to where you was at when the
you can
signal
hear
was
me?
good, and you got to sit still.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. You know, it's just that she thought everybody in America had my work ethic,
Hmm.
that everybody got down like I get down. And I
Yeah.
tried to explain to her, I said, baby, everybody ain't like me. I say, you know, I'm kind of from the old school. I said, we get up and go to work every day. I work 16, 17 hours in the oil field. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I move up from supervisor to manager. She said, she thought everybody was like me in America until she got here.
Plus, you were
So
a
I
when
said,
service
baby,
member too, right?
huh?
Were you a service member too?
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I was on.
he was in the army.
Yeah.
Well, Axel
Yeah.
was in the what were you in, Axel? The Navy?
Navy Seabees.
Okay, well, we appreciate you guys' service. We appreciate you guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank you
man.
very much
Yeah.
for
Just
doing what
I just because on the
thank you for
military
doing
side
what
you have
y'all
to
do
work
so
too.
so
You
I
know, a
didn't
lot of
have to.
times.
Yeah, I know it's a job. You get paid to do that job.
Yeah.
But I appreciate y'all because y'all did it so I didn't have to because I'm not going over there. So I appreciate it. Every time I see somebody that's in the service, I try to remind myself to tell y'all, thank y'all for y'all service. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's
So
good enough.
I
That's good enough. Showing
yeah, yeah.
respect, you
So
know. Good
yeah,
enough.
so let me let me ask y'all then. So do y'all think well, I kind of know what the answer is. I know what y'all gonna say. The mindset. Obviously the mindset of an immigrant and an American when it comes down to work is different, right?
Totally different.
Mhm.
Totally different. Mark, the
Mark, I
immigrant got
think a lot of them that come
me and
now.
you. They got our mindset. The immigrant coming over here got me, yours, and Axel's mindset. As far as getting,
Mhm. So let me ask y'all this then: why they just don't come over here, do their work, and mind their business? Why is it? Why is the hatred spewed? Why so much hatred spewed? Why come over here if you hate the country so much, you hate the people? Why come over here? This is what I don't understand. Like I don't mind. I'm just trying to figure it out. I want to figure out why the American hates the immigrant or dislikes the immigrant, and why the immigrant dislikes the American. That's why I wanted to have this conversation. To me,
I
I don't really care because it ain't gonna stop no motion over here. You dig what I'm saying?
I think
But
it's
since
jealous.
I
I
got a
think it's
platform,
jealousy.
okay, let's talk about it. Jealousy in what
I
facet?
I think it's jealousy because they have to leave their country to come to another country, and they're jealous because their country isn't something good like the United States. Not saying that their country is bad, but I think it's kind of like a suppressed jealousy. As they just feel like they want to defend their country and talk down on Americans while putting up their country, but in reality, they should be staying in their country and trying to fix their country.
Mm-hmm.
Fight. This country was fought for, but it seems like all the immigrants, they don't. It's one thing to run from communism, or they're shooting at you and stuff every day, because I don't know, you don't want to die or whatever. But there comes a point where you have to stand up for your country and say enough is enough.
So you
We
saying
got
the
all
people
these
that
millions of what is it, Venezuelans and all these guys coming over here. If the country is so bad, they got so many people. Just replace the government and start fixing their country. I don't. To me, it doesn't make no sense.
so you saying that you saying suppress jealousy because they have to uproot themselves from the land that they love and come to another country to provide a better living for themselves and their family. That's how you see it, right?
Yeah, and they see, like even what's his name here was saying something about, his wife looked at Americans, I guess, when she came over here, and
Mm-hmm.
like they weren't really working or whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
over here, Americans have investments, they have real estate and stuff. You might see a white guy in his 50s that doesn't work and he's got his flip flops on, but maybe he retired early and he had some great stocks and stuff. But in the foreign countries, they don't have money to invest and have all this stuff to relax. So
No,
they
no,
have to
no
work
accent.
from
No, 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 no. She was talking about own the job. She was talking about own the job. That's what she was talking
on
about.
the
The
job.
job that
Yeah.
she had
Oh,
on
on the job.
on the
Yeah.
job. Yeah, she wasn't talking about people just
Well,
out.
Well,
Yeah, but
here's the
own the
thing.
no.
job.
People over here don't have to work as hard. You can't get mad that you come to a country where people don't have to work as hard.
It's not that, Mark. I'm talking about people actually doing what the fuck they supposed to be doing. They ain't doing that.
Mhm.
You know
What type of job did she work? What now you ain't got to tell me
she,
where, but
she,
what
she's a manager, medical billing and coding.
oh, she's a billing and coding. Did she had to
Yes.
go get a certificate to do that? I got a buddy that does billing and
She's
coding.
certified. She
Right.
has a business. She has a business, a 4-year degree in business from the Philippines. She's a
Mm-hmm.
certified biller. She's a certified coder. She went to school and got state certified for both of them.
Mm-hmm. So
Okay.
basically
She graduated.
she's doing more code and closing more bills for the doctors in a more timely fashion than her peers are.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yes.
be hearing my
And
buddy say the same thing.
she said they've been there 10, 15 years and and can't even close out a claim.
Let me ask you this. Was she saying this before the pandemic or during the pandemic? Was this she been saying this or
She been saying this. She been there 4 years now. And see, I
okay?
got laid off from Saudi
What
Arabia
year
at
did she get there?
17.
What year did she get start? What year did she get there to the billing and coding?
Well,
Here.
okay, yeah, we got here in 17. She went to
Mm-hmm.
school. We started cleaning business. I told you about all that. And then she went to school for medical billing and coding 4 years ago. So, and that was in 2020. That's when she graduated.
Okay, so
2020.
she
She
started
started
billing
working.
coding in 2020. So I think with the
Yes.
whole billing and coding thing, where the productivity went away, and I'm saying this because I got a buddy who's been doing it for a long time, way before the pandemic. The productivity went away in billing and coding because it became a work from home job. You can do that from home. I'm pretty sure she's been doing it from home. She's probably still doing it from home now, right?
No. But
She,
she
she,
did
she
do a week here, a week there from home. Yeah.
but during the
But no, he
pandemic, it
go
was
to the
all from
office every
home.
day.
But during the pandemic, it was all from home, right?
Right.
Right. So that's where a lot of the
Yes. Yes.
productivity, uh kind of went away. I just want to keep the conversation fair. And since I know someone that's really, really close to me that does that, I hear that person talk about it all the time, how in that
But you know
particular
why? But,
yeah, go ahead.
but you know why they brought them back?
Because of the lack of
Weren't
productivity.
doing what they supposed to do.
Yeah,
That's why they
it's a
brought
lack
them
of lack of productivity.
back.
Yeah, I know. But that's where I think a lot. I think that's where it's kind of started, and then it just went just downhill. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, yeah,
Yeah,
I get it, but it just goes back to what I said earlier. Like, if you come from, let's say, a third world country, and you lack resources, and
hmm
you come to a country where you know, they're to us, what's living very, 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 because we got three successful people up here. You was up here the other day. You just made 365 and two box trucks, right? Plus
yeah,
your other investors. You got
right,
three successful
right.
people up here. So let's look what we've attained from working and building businesses over the years. And let's say for us to lose that, and we would go from where we're at to like a very, very minimal way of living. We're living, but we're not living like how we living now, right? To a person who's coming
Right.
from a third world country, to live how we feel like we live in belief beneath poverty line, to them that's like living rich. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So this is why I feel like, and I feel like it's not when they talk about the mindset, it's not I feel like it's just not like an even playing ground, because first of all, if we're American, we didn't grow up in a third world country. We
Right.
don't know what it's like to not go without anything, right? If you don't have something here, we have government assistance that'll help you get those things. If you ain't got food, right. So Doc Phyllis, you got the link. You can come up here. That's the purpose of the conversation. Check this out. When I see other people shitting on Black Americans and shit, I don't see nobody stand up. So what I did, instead of me sitting and just watching this shit, I decided to do an open platform so everybody could come up and say what the hell they got to say. You saying stuff in the link, ain't nobody exploiting nothing. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. You can come in and have the discussion. We doing it like adults. I don't shit on people. I could give a goddamn less what an immigrant do or an American, because an immigrant or American ain't finna put shit in my pocket. They not gonna pay my mortgages. They not gonna pay these bills. They not gonna do nothing. We having a conversation. All right. We having a conversation. So the link is pinned to the top of the chat. And I'm not saying this in a bogus way, but the link is pinned to the top of the chat. I don't want anybody to be pinpoint, because I scroll through channels and I see people shitting on Black Americans. Instead of having a conversation, I hear it, but here's the thing. That's why the link is pinned to the top of the chat, so that we can have a conversation. Some hold on. Some people hold on, Axel. The reason why is because some people are watching it from their TV. They don't get a chance to see the chat. Not everybody is on the phone or on the computer, right? Some people are watching from the TV. When I watch from the TV, I don't get a chance to see the chat, right? So hit the link. That way you can have a discussion, so that you can say what you need to say and we can say what we need to say. And if we agree on certain things, we can agree. If we disagree, we can disagree. That's what I'm saying.
Mark.
Yo, hold on. I'm gonna bring him up. Go ahead. I'm listening. Why do I
Why
what?
do you think they putting all these immigrants in the Black communities?
Well, they not putting them in the Black communities here in Chicago because we said we didn't want them.
Okay. I
We
thought
said we
y'all
didn't
still
want
had
them.
them there like New York.
No, they're in. They put them. Listen, check this out. The Hispanics didn't want them. They took them over to the Hispanic community. The Hispanics said, "Listen, we not against you, but we not with you either." This is what the head of the Hispanic community in Chicago said on the news. He said, "Listen, we not against you, but we not with you either." Why? I talked to a Hispanic person I know. I said, "Why did he say that on the news?" They may not be Mexican, but they still are Hispanic. He said, "Look, man, because listen, we spent a lot of money to come over here. We came over here the right way. We went through whatever immigration, the green cards, the money that was spent to be legal, to come over here and work and do whatever it is that they want to come over here to do. It's not fair to us that they just get a free pass. And not only do they get a free pass, they're coming over here to take what we fought and worked hard and had to pay to get. So no, we not having it. Just like y'all didn't want them in y'all, we don't want them over here either. This is exactly what they told me. The white people, they weren't gonna let them up there no way, because they said they're an eyesore.
I tell you,
So
man.
we don't want them in our well, I'm not mean to say we. I'm gonna say the black community didn't want them in our neighborhood because they felt like, listen, y'all want to put them in these abandoned schools, these schools that y'all closed in our community. You didn't close the schools in other communities. You didn't go up to Edgewater and all those other communities and close those schools. You closed them in our community, but now you want to come after these schools been vacant and abandoned for 10 years, refurbish them and turn them into shelters. Nah, because when we was asking y'all to tear them down or open them back up so our kids don't have to go two neighborhoods over, right, in different communities with different gangs, right? Not to say that these kids are in gangs, but when you're walking, you're in the line of fire, you're walking into different territories, right? You wouldn't do it. So that's why they fought against it. You see what I'm saying? So, but go ahead, and then I'm gonna bring up other person. Go ahead, I'm listening.
So you listen to me? Here in Georgia, man.
Now I'm gonna let him finish, Doc, and then I'm gonna let you get your thoughts off. Go ahead. You say you're in Georgia?
Yeah, I'm down here in Georgia, and they everywhere down here in Georgia, especially over there in Atlanta. They got Africans over there. They don't even know what hello means. You know what I'm saying? And then all these jobs that white men and their sons, black men and their sons be having, these guys got it. These landscaping jobs, these repairing houses jobs, all these jobs, Americans could have.
Well, here's the thing, and we got to keep. English. But here's the thing: we got to keep the conversation fair. I'm gonna moderate and keep it fair. The reason why you don't see a lot of those blue collar, vocational jobs, as far as, let's look at construction. When I was growing up, you'd be driving on the expressway, or you'd be driving past a construction site. You see all white men, pretty much. You see like big burly white men with tattoos on their neck, tattoos on the side of their head, bald skinhead white men, right? Because in that time period, especially here in Chicago, it was controlled. The mob pretty much controlled construction. It could pretty much control like garbage, certain things you would have to bid on. Daley was the mayor. He was the son of old man Daley that ran it in the 50s, right? So there was structure as far as contracts is concerned, right? So a lot of those guys would get those bids. That was the culture then. You got to understand it. The white guys that you would see on those jobs, they're old and retired now. Their lineage, those generations that are under them, they don't want to work either, right? So in that aspect that you're talking about, it's not an immigrant American mindset thing. It's just a generational thing, right? The younger generation, I don't care if you're white, black, American Hispanic, right? American Asian, right? They just don't want to do those vocational hard labor jobs, electrician, plumber, construction worker. So that's why you see more Hispanics in those fields, because that culture is willing to take on those jobs. That's not really a immigrant American thing. That's more of a generational thing. You understand what I'm saying?
Down to the South, be different down here to the South, man.
You said what?
Guys that do those type jobs, they doing their own business.
Well, see, you in Georgia, and it's majority black down there. In your part, you in what, Atlanta, Savannah?
Augusta.
Is it it's majority black Augusta, though, right? And that's majority black, right?
Nah.
Not on South Town I live on. South Town I live on.
What's the population?
White, but yeah.
What's the population? What's the ratio?
White and black.
It's white and black. Let me let Doc come into the conversation. Yeah. Doc, welcome to the conversation. I don't know what you were saying. I think you said we was exploiting somebody.
You misunderstood what I said. I didn't say exploit. I said extrapolate or expand. I was just saying y'all will expanding that particular businesses, they were making rational decisions for what that business needed onto all of the workforce of Americans. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of so I don't even want to switch the conversation. I want to keep it at what y'all was just talking about. Um, they took a lot of those classes out of schools. When I came up, we had the homeroom and we had the shop and all that. They didn't have that.
Had a tech school and high school. Yeah.
Yeah, they took the technical support out of schools. So who's
Yeah.
going to teach the new generation of Americans? Let's say you're growing up in a city that isn't mob controlled or isn't controlled by all of these entities that try to control these different guilds. What they call them, guilds. They don't control these different workforce guilds, and it's open for black folks to get in. Well, who's going to, if they didn't get taught, if the Americans didn't get taught it, then they're not really gonna have an interest in it. You know what I mean? So there's always gonna be a population of kids who are gonna say, "Hey, I don't want to go to college. I'm gonna do." Because when I went to college, I have two twin brothers who had a certification in welding before they even started getting their college degree. So they always had something to fall back on. You know what I mean? And I didn't really see that again. Later I got in life. So like I'm saying, like it's just not. I don't know the reasoning behind them taking it out of schools, but who's going to teach it to them? You know what I mean? Who's going to give them the interest? You know what I mean? Beforehand, you know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get away from the whole lazy American.
That's what I want.
You know?
That's what I want to get away from, especially when it's, when let's say my ethnicity is singled out. I hate that shit, right? Because if that was true, then I would fit in what a lot of people say, and I'm complete opposite, right? So I try to be the beacon with people that look like me and say, hey, listen, that's not true. Because I can go and look at white people that's lazy than motherfucker. I was coming up a street the other day, and it was white people that looked like they was drugged and cracked out, knocking on my window asking me for money. You see what I'm saying? I see Hispanics. I see all different ethnicities and races that are fucked up. That's fucked up out here. You see what I'm saying? So I just hate when certain ethnicities are singled out, especially when it's coming from people that look like us, but they just not from here. But they look like us. You dig what I'm saying? That's what be upsetting me.
I don't think they're talking about. I think they're talking about the younger generation, though, Mark.
Nah. Younger generation. When a person's talking about a generation, they'll say Generation Z, or they'll say millennial, or they'll say this generation, that generation. Black is not a generation. Hispanic is not a generation. White is not a generation. Asian is not a generation. Croatian is not a generation. Those aren't generations.
But even if it was true, who was going to teach? That's what I'm saying. Like, who was going to teach them that level of work? Who was going to teach them that? You know what I mean? Because as black people, I'm just going to keep it on black. I'm sorry for the other brother in here. No, I'm just going to keep it on black for a second. If you were black, most black people don't have what you call a cultural tie to each other, or cultural tie to the uplift of the black community. It's all for oneself. You know what I mean? If you weren't brought up in places like Alabama, you know what I mean? You weren't brought up in places that were like whole black communities that taught you some sense of self-worth. If you just an average American, it's all for self. It's all for you in your neighborhood. It ain't about nothing else. You know, it's all about the money, ain't about nothing else. You know what I mean? If you weren't taught that, how were you supposed to if you were taught that and you got the influence of all these influencers and everybody saying that you want to be an online star, you want to be a rapper, you know what I mean? All those different types of things that tear you away from any sense of self, you know what I mean? Then that's what you're gonna want to be. You gonna want it. Most of these kids, they want to be rappers and influencers. You know what I mean? They don't care nothing about building for self if it don't work in that way. You know what I mean? They don't care about like you know what I'm trying to say, the type of jobs where you welding and stuff like that. Vocation, they don't care about vocational work because ain't no vocational stuff being pushed at them.
Well, let me ask you this.
You know what I mean? That's what's being pushed out of it.
Let me ask you this. I probably got to ask my OG this too. She probably had an answer, but maybe because I went to a vocational high school. So,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
um, but I went to high
But you
school
ain't that.
90.
You ain't the general.
Yeah, I went 94 through 98. Now that high school is not called a vocational high school no more. It's called a career academy, right? And also, the the enrollment in that high school is it's probably the biggest high school in the city, right? Um, my freshman class was 822 students. Just my freshman class in 94, 822 students, right? That high school now, all four classes is not even 800 kids, right? So why do you think they took vocation out of the school? Is it because drop of enrollment? Do you think the country was going on a different path as far as careers are concerned? What do you think? You have the answer?
Nah, I don't have the answer. I mean, I got some guesses. I want to hear from the older. I want to hear from everybody else.
They
I only got so many years on this planet. I ain't that.
how
I ain't old enough to.
how old are you?
I just turned 40.
Well, you're old enough to you're old enough to you old enough to understand. You old enough. I think they might be too old. I think they might be too old. You see what I'm saying? Because they're older than both of us. You know, they both already actually you 50 already, right?
Me?
Yeah.
51.
And I believe Isaac is probably in his mid to late 50s. You know, I don't know what he's showing us right now. I guess this is
No, I'm
High
54.
school.
54.
He's
you
showing us
doing
his prom
54.
picture.
Oh,
you, you,
okay.
you said you was born in 54?
Yeah.
What month?
No, I'm 54 years old.
Oh, you're 54 years old, right?
February
So
3rd.
okay, all right.
Hey,
So what's
Mark,
that? Your prom picture or
that's
something?
the book that my
Uh,
this book here is what my brother wrote about my dad. My dad was the
okay.
first black principal down here in Aiken County when they integrated schools in 1968. Yeah.
Word,
And this is the book that he wrote on my dad.
word.
Yep.
Well, I'm gonna start
You can
cycling
just see it.
people. Hey
Yep.
Sheila, if you want, I'm gonna start cycling. Well, she hung up. So
Let me touch on
go ahead,
something because
go
you
ahead,
guys kind
Axel.
of touched on it.
Yeah.
The older generation does not teach like they did back in the day. Like I didn't go to learn trades. When it comes to painting, carpentry, electrical, plumbing, tiles, all that, I learned from the older generation. And I learned to enjoy it. You know, I can pick up the tools and I enjoy working with the tools. I rather work with the tools than driving. The the Europeans I was talking about, those guys came as masons, you know, bricklayers and carpenters. They had skills. Those European cultures. The cultures that come from these countries nowadays are from these countries that don't build. They don't do anything. They're so poor. So they don't have any trades to come. What they can do is hold a steering wheel. So the problem here now in America is that the younger generation is not being taught, and it's the older generation's fault to a point. We need to go back to the old ways, and the kids need. Listen, I had a paper route when I was 14 years old, and I was hungry to take over the second paper route down the road to make more money. And I used to hump those newspapers, 2 bags strapped, you know. Through the snow, I'd have a sled, you know. The younger generation, they don't know how to. You have to learn how to work when you're young. Once you
Well,
learn when you're young, you don't care about anything else. You can do any job.
well, Here's the thing. I agree with you, but then I disagree with you because what do you call what I sit up here and do every week in on week out? I sit up here and I teach young people. I get on them. I drive them nuts. I chastise them, but it's all for the greater good. So
No,
I
no,
can't.
that's different,
I
Mark.
hear what you're saying. No, it's not. Teaching is teaching.
No.
Educating
Listen,
is educating.
listen. If you take a kid and you say, "Listen, we're going to go over here. I need you to pick up those rocks, or pick up
Yeah,
these
he's
two
talking about
by
hands
fours and
on.
move
Yeah,
them over." You got to do hands on. When it comes to at least to the trades, it's got to be hands on. They gotta feel it. They gotta touch it. They gotta break the sweat. They gotta hurt their shoulders.
I'm a
They gotta
hey
learn to
hey hey
respect it.
hey Isaac. I gotta rotate you out. I gotta bring some people up. You the oldest person up here. All right. Well, not the oldest, but you've been up here the longest. So I gotta rotate you
Oh,
out.
okay, guys. Hey, it's good.
All right.
Good
Nice
seeing you
seeing you,
guys.
Isaac.
Good
All
seeing
right.
you guys.
All
Appreciate
right.
you.
Y'all take
All
care.
right.
No problem. All right. Go ahead, Axel. I'm bringing up somebody else.
Basically, hands-on. You gotta learn hands-on. You know, it, like we could sit here and tell people how to live stream and how to do YouTube too, but you will be better at it if you're actually doing it and you're setting up your own stuff and you're learning how to do it.
Hey,
Always hands-on.
Hey, Mark, that's
Yep.
what I was saying. That's what I was saying about us not. It's all about being self because we're not in community no more. If we were in community, then it would be by example. You know what I mean? They would look out down the block and see somebody doing the work and maybe have an interest in it that way. You know, I'm coming home from school. I see this man laying bricks or whatever. You know what I mean? I always see him dressing decent. He got a job. He got a wife and kids. I'm gonna come and ask him what he's doing and how is he doing it. You know what I mean? I'm talking about just local people showing the youth how to do something. And the only influence that they're getting is people telling them they should be in entertainment. That's all I'm saying.
Well, is it people telling them, or they got a
Not
phone
telling them, but
stuck?
you know what I mean. The
They got a
example,
phone.
the examples that they seeing.
Okay, I get you. How you doing, Miss Sheila? How you doing this evening?
How you doing?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed. What's your take on the topic this evening?
I just wanted to go back when we was talking about the vocationals in school and also the Hispanics into trucking. I reside in Miami, Florida. I find it a bit difficult. I find that there are a lot of new things that are being added due to the fact of, I want to say, a lot of the safety issues on the road. Um, I actually went to the DMV and I was having an issue actually them printing out the CDL, and they were saying that I had to have all this documentation towards one address. And at this time I happened to give up my apartment and I'm staying with my dad. So I pay no bills, and it was hard to come up with the documentation, within 60 days from the address because I had let the address go 6 months ago. And so I told the lady at the DMV, because it does strike a nerve down here, because you being cast aside, looked aside. When they first came over here, we was helpful to them. I'm not saying everybody, you always have your group of idiots, but for the most part, showing them how to do things and get things together and receiving them, we did that. But to now to see the coin flip, they don't do that with us. They cast us away. If they get into any sector of business, it's no longer racially balanced, but it's Hispanic. You can have every qualification, but if you don't speak Hispanic, you cannot receive the job. However, in the warehouse, I worked in the warehouse for 20 years. In the warehouse, they would throw them in the midst of us and they spoke no English, but we would be helpful to them. So to see the coin flip is like a slap in the face. Now with all the restrictions, it come down to they lack of understanding English. It's one thing to speak English and it's one thing to understand. A lot of these foreigners do speak some piece of English, but they still don't understand the conversation in which they're having. Now, for the most part, a lot of them don't speak English. So if you have to take the CDL test in English, why you have to be read everything in Spanish when going to the DMV? And though they're being translated to at the DMV, at this point, while they're giving me a hard time about an address, and I'm American citizen, an address, they're getting people to translate for these people. So I said to her, I say, you mean it's telling me you're going to give me a hard time with this address, and you just set up here and have somebody translate for them knowing they don't know English? You're going to issue out a license? And she said, oh, I have nothing to do with that. The school passed them. I say, but now they're here and standing in front of you, and they're letting you know that they can't speak English. So when they get on the road with us, can they read the signs? Because the signs are not in Spanish. Now, Miami, I want to say cater to them. But when you go to these other parts of the world, they're not doing that. We have no signs in Spanish, but up there, they're not catering to this group of people. And so I wanted to speak on the vocations. Just saying, it was a conversation I was having with my pops. He's a baby boomer. It's hard to get him to understand anything, but I told him years ago, before anything start unfolding, the doors that they open for your generation, they're closing on your kids. They did have vocations. They got rid of the vocations because the vocations was helpful to the people within the community. They didn't have to go get a job. If they had a job, they still had side hustles, which allowed them to have extra money to do things to help their families live better and to obtain what we call the American dream. So that's basically what I wanted to touch bases on, guys. Thank
I
you, Mark, for
appreciate that.
accepting.
Thank you.
I
All right.
appreciate that. Appreciate it. Bye.
You know, Mark,
Was you?
this whole thing with the border and the way we have the influx of the Spanish people, it's bad, and it kind of touches on what she said, because what's happening is you're overpowering the system. You know, it's not like you have a few Italians, a few Greeks, a few Polish. You got a mass, what is there, 8 to 10 million that came over here? Now, I know they're not all Hispanic, but in anything you do, if you make a soup and you put too much salt, it's going to be overpowered. The salt's going to take over. So that's another problem as far as like the border goes with the immigrants. They're overpowering the system. So,
I mean, I hear you. That's a different conversation, and I've been kind of trying to stay away from that conversation. I mean, I know
well,
we
no,
we
I'm just
talk
saying
about
because
it from
she's
here and
talking
there.
about the Spanish, you know, how they're
Yeah, yeah,
pushing the
but she's
Spanish and stuff.
yeah, she's speaking from a Miami perspective.
Yeah.
And I told you I talked about the Miami thing earlier in the live stream, but I want to kind of
Well,
focus on just the trucking aspect because I see it's a lot of dissension between American and immigrant truckers. What were you going to say, Doc?
no, I don't know about the dissension between American and immigrant truckers, but what I do know that there's always been programs from countries that America wants to encourage people to come from that assist them in new business, and that
Mm-hmm.
includes trucking too. So you get stipends and you get education benefits and things like that from
Mm-hmm.
countries that America wants to create good relations with or maintain good relations with. Sometimes citizen citizens don't like that, you know what I mean? And if they feel
Mm-hmm.
powerless, like a lot of them did in Chicago, then
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna do something about it, or they're gonna try to vote people in, or make their voices heard in any other way. But I don't want anybody to think that I'm looking at immigrants in any type of negative way because they are who they are. It's not their fault that the doors are being swung open for them. You know what I mean?
It's not necessarily that. It's just I hear this word mindset thrown around a lot. I hear this word thrown around about lazy, and I can get it. But I've seen lazy immigrants. I've seen um, the news go down to the border and ask these individuals in Spanish, "Why are they here? Are you here to work? Nah. What are you here for? To be taken care of, the free benefits, the
Yeah,
WIC, the
yeah,
EBT.
yeah,
Why? Because
Yep.
they come here, they're being housed, they're being clothed, they're being fed, they're being immunized. I mean, we're paying for whatever. It's all good. It is what it is. But what I'm saying, I'm speaking on what I saw this week, perusing through YouTube. And since I'm got a trucking platform and I like to keep it trucking, I said, all right, well, I'm gonna do the topic of what's the big deal? Why are immigrants here that are make if you're working and you're here and you're trucking and you're okay, you're good at, you're successful, why spend so much time shitting on people that are here, right? Right? Whether they're lazy or not, why are you spending so much time shitting on the people in the country that you came to? You didn't have to come here. You didn't have to come here. And then on the flip coin, I see American truckers complaining and shitting on the immigrants. All right. Now, they wearing flip flops. They can't speak English. I get that. I feel like, if you work in America, you should be able to speak English. You should be able to speak and you should be able to read English. It was once upon a time a requirement. It seems like that requirement has gone out the window, right? And then for the American that I see spending so much time complaining about the immigrant, listen, if a person want to ride in flip flops, man, that's on them. All right, you know what I'm saying? If something smash on their toe, then that'll teach them for next time. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand where the clash is. Is it because so the point that I'm trying to get to? If immigrants are complaining about American truckers, if Americans are complaining about immigrant truckers, what is the issue? Is it because as the Americans tripping because the immigrants are coming over here and they feel like that's contributing to the rates being low? Is that the root cause of the issue from the American perspective? Is the root cause of the immigrant always complaining about the American being lazy and they mind frame? We come over here and we make it, we cut different, da 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 da. Is it because, like what Axel said, it's like out of low key jealousy because they had to
Yeah,
uproot themselves and come to a whole other country that I guess they hate because it's always, hatred that seems like spewed, right? Is that what it is? I just want to get to the bottom, and that's why I decided to do this topic so people could join in and we can have this discussion. But go ahead.
yeah, it's about the social order, the social hierarchy. You know what I mean? So people who come from other countries, they want to come into something that's like a bed that's already made for them. They don't want to have to build their own social hierarchy. You know what I mean? So they come in with their ideas about black people. You know, they want to have more in common with the people who are in power than they do the people who are not in power. So
Mm-hmm.
if you coming from another country and you perceive black people as not being in power in America, then you're gonna want to have something more in common with the folks that are in power. And what do the people in power typically think about black people? They think they're lazy. You see what I'm saying? So they want
That's
to take on that mind frame so they can be more like the people that are winning. You don't want to join a losing team when you come to America. You know what I mean? You're looking for an identity in this hierarchy that's already been made. So you want to place yourself in the best position possible, and that's going to be on the necks of the black people. You know what I mean? That's my opinion. You see
so
what I'm
you
saying?
so you speaking from from third world countries
Yeah,
like Haiti and Jamaica and
yeah.
Africa because I know Africans. I was watching a video. I've been meaning to pull it up and play it. I seen an African
Not just
guy.
those countries, but yeah.
Go ahead then. But
I was gonna say not just those countries, because it ain't just. I mean, yeah, right now all of those countries are getting the most attention because they, you know what I mean. We're coming to terms with those conversations that have been having since that we've been having since the '60s and '70s. You know what I mean.
mm-hmm,
I think the lady who ran for president, Shirley Chisholm, she come from an immigrant background, and she talks about how Caribbean families were given more opportunity when they came here over Black Americans because they were seen as model minorities, or they were seen as
mm-hmm,
easier to control than Black Americans. You got to remember, in the '60s, you know, we were burning shit. You know what I'm saying? We were tearing up cities. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
Jersey, you know, Newark. You know, we were burning cities down. You know what I mean? So they wanted a population who was more controllable. So they, again, like I say, and they doing now, they created a relationship with those countries by giving benefits to people who come over, and you know what I mean. They give benefits to those countries. They want to have good relationships because they think those citizens are going to be easier to deal with
Mm,
rather than dealing
and
with.
and, and they
They should have.
mm-hmm.
they do it more now with the immigrants than they did 30, 40 years ago. All these benefits and stuff, they weren't offering all this crazy stuff 30, 40 years ago.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
let me bring who is this?
And if we just talking about rates, if we just talking about rates being low because the immigrant, I'm trying to fix this camera. I'm holding it. If we just talking about rates, I think it comes from them trying to phase out humans altogether. You know what I mean? So if we talking about medical billing, We talking about uh, any job that AI can do. They
Mm-hmm.
trying to phase out humans altogether. So you know what I mean. An immigrant would be the easiest way to. I don't know. There's a piece to having an immigrant in there before they have AI do it. You know what I mean. So I don't know, but I've heard it explained that way as well. So right before they take humans out of a job, they have low wage people in there doing it. So
Mm.
that's an idea. I really don't know how it relates to, because I don't know what these people doing with their money. You know what I mean? So
When you speak about
I,
these
you,
people, you talking about immigrants?
I'm talking about immigrants, but you always said, Mark, that if a business's cost is low, if they have a low cost per mile to do their business, if they work down their business to the point to where it doesn't cost them so much to be on the road,
Mm.
then they're gonna eat your food. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't cost,
Yeah.
they can, it's more
Yeah.
profit for them at the end of the day.
Right.
So
So it's a lot of people that's probably mad because they coming over here and they are eating people food. It's just like Axel said, they're gonna come over here, they're gonna live in that truck. They're gonna live in that truck. Truck funky than a motherfucker. Like I ain't seen some of these, and we ain't talking about Spanish. When I see immigrants, I don't want everybody to just focus on South America. This ain't it. Like a lot of these truckers ain't from South America. They from Croatia
Africa.
and
Oh,
Russian and
Hungary,
Ukrainian.
Africa, Russia, Ukrainian. They from over there. Like
Ukraine, yeah, a lot of
Like they be
Ukrainian
they
folks.
be, I see them. Y'all talk about Axel be talking about flip flops, and I seen the white guy the other day talking about shitting on them, talking about flip flops. I be seeing them driving with no shoes on. You see what I'm
Because
saying?
Mark,
Funky than a
listen, there
motherfucker.
used to be a
Listen, just
pride.
funky. Listen, but let me get this before I forget. So yes, they are cutting costs. They not even showering. So yeah, they coming over here taking people's food. So is this why they're?
But
I
it's
want
not
to keep
this.
it a buck.
It's not just them. It's them plus the older Americans who own their truck, who own everything that it costs to be on the road. And it's not just the immigrants. It's the older Americans who own the means to be on the road for cheap. You know what I mean? If they can take something for the low, they'll take it for the low too. It ain't just the immigrants.
What you finna say, Axel?
The problem I think with a lot of the truckers, especially the semi guys and stuff, there used to be it's kind of like a unit. It was a profession, they had pride, especially the Peterbilt guys. But you're coming into a profession, especially trucking, where you're wearing flip flops. I've seen myself. You go to the truck stops, and I can go back at least to 2018 when I came in. This garbage that's piling up all over the place, you'll see them just drop and throw their crap outside,
Hey, the
because in
white
their
guy,
countries maybe they
the
don't
white,
care. They just throw their shit everywhere.
it was this white guy truck I was watching. He said they're the ones throwing the piss bottles and shit everywhere. And why y'all like?
Yeah,
Because I don't hear black truckers really say nothing about these guys and they flip flops. I only see it from like white truckers. Why y'all hate that the fact that these guys be having a flip flops
I'm
on?
gonna give my view. I'm gonna give my view. The black guys usually they're cool. They lay back. They're cool. The
Mm-hmm.
white guys, and I'm talking about like the cattle haulers, the hardcore trucker guys.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna speak up. They're gonna say something,
The
and it's
hoppers.
obvious. Yeah, all those, the hardcore truckers, which is starting to go away, in my opinion. The
Mm.
flatbedders, the strapping the load in the sun and the blizzard rolling, and
Don't nobody want to
you
do
go
that.
to these trucks. Yeah, but you see these guys, and they like listen. I can go up to even the box truck guys, and they're cooking fish in the back of the box truck. I mean, this is crazy, man. You're cooking fish. I don't know how many times I've heard the stories from the semi trucks to the box trucks of them cutting a hole in the floor and doing number one and two out the bottom of the floor while the truck is rolling, taking it to a mechanic shop, and they put it up in the lift. They're like, I'm not touching this truck because number one and number two is all over the bottom of the
Mm.
truck. Well, I mean, what kind of human are you that you can't even pull over? I don't even care if you pull over in the woods and do your business, but you're doing it in a truck on the road. Like, come on, man. This is, and the crazy part is during COVID, everybody's wearing their mask, but yet everyone's throwing piss and shit and crap all over the place. Like, why are we worrying about COVID? You guys are putting all this crap all over the road in the city anyways. They're garbage. You can look at India with how many, what, millions or billions of people they have. Look at that country, how they don't care. Like over here, we worry about emissions and the EPA and all this stuff. We're not the problem. It's these other countries. But they don't care over there. They come over here and do this crap. You can go to Greece and Italy, and they're not going to be pissing and shitting in the road. You know, it's just, it's part, I think it's part of being an adult. You know, you just don't do this
Well,
stuff.
you
At least
said
get a
something.
bottle, and when you get to the trash,
You said
go
something. I don't
ahead.
want to cut you off, but you said they're pissing in a hole in the back of the truck while the truck is rolling. How are they pissing and driving the
Yeah.
truck at the same time in the back of the truck?
You explain it to me, but there's only
They
one way
got the
it can go
tube.
from
They
the
got the
front of the
tube.
truck to
You
the.
know. Yeah, they got the tube. They
I
got the
think they.
urinal tube that go to the bottom.
Yeah,
I've never seen it, but
You
Hey,
you
joking
know,
or is that a thing?
they'll
Are you
bring you
joking
up.
or is that a thing?
true.
no. They have urinal tube that, you know what I mean. You can piss while you
Hey,
drive, but
hold on. Hey,
I
Stone,
never.
you got a lot to say in the chat. Hit the link. It's an open forum. You got a lot to say in the chat. So go ahead and hit the linkage. It's pinned to the top of the chat so you can get your thoughts out, because I can't read it. But every time I look over, I see you got something to say. I seen Pippi have to correct you on something. So, Mark, come on, man. I see all this shit from all people. I'm not talking about the pissing the shit. All right? Pissing shit ain't my thing. I'm talking my thing is the constant frowning upon black people in this trucking space that I see on YouTube, and how we're this and how we're that and how we're just so much lower. All right. And here's the thing, I will debate any person who feels like a black American, all right, that is in trucking, right, ain't shit, like is not shit, right? I can prove to you that I can outsmart a person who thinks a black American ain't shit that may be an immigrant. I can prove that I probably got more money than them. I can prove more success than them. And I can do this ultimately to prove that that narrative that's being perpetuated is not true. I'm more articulate. I can express myself better.
And so now,
All right.
now,
So
now
it's
what you need to
not
ask yourself,
it's not true.
what you need to ask yourself now, Mark, how many Marks out there?
But no. I'm not gonna let you go there. I'm not gonna let you go there. It's a lot of people like me. It's a lot of people out like it's a lot of people like me out there. You know why? I know them. I know a lot of people like me. I know a lot of people like me. People, listen, check this out. People like to pinpoint certain things so they can push certain narratives. It's a lot of marks out there.
Yeah.
When I go to Atlanta, I see nothing but I see nothing but black wealth. There's some cracks in the road. You got some riffraff down in Atlanta, but you see a lot of black wealth down in Atlanta. And the same way, you do own something. All those houses, all those big fancy mansions, all in Buckhead and all those places and shit. That's wealth. They had to go to a closing and prove income and this, that, and the third. The same way I did, same way Axel did, same way you did, and the same way everybody else did. So I see success, right?
Yeah.
But I also see bullshit too. But I'm not gonna spend my time focusing on putting the bullshit in the forefront. I'm gonna put the good shit in the forefront. See, when you put bullshit in the forefront, to the people that's coming up under you, that's what they see and that's what they believe, and it's bullshit. It's bullshit, bro.
Yeah.
It's plenty of successful people out here that look just like me. You know why? Because I'm sitting here talking to one.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I'm sitting here talking to
You're right
one.
about that.
So it's not.
Yeah.
I don't like when people put the that mindset shit and they try to put it on the whole culture. No, everybody is their own individual and
No, no,
everybody
no,
got
no, not the whole culture.
their own mind frame, their own mindset. Yeah, is there someone out there that looks like me that got a totally complete different mindset than me? Of course it is. There's somebody out there that's got the same mindset.
Yep.
So no, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Hold on. Yo.
Yeah, my bad. I just want to know what the big point of what brother is trying to say. You know what I mean? What's the big point? What you trying to say about Black Americans in total? Like what you really trying to get at?
Who, you talking about me?
Nah, what?
No, no,
I'm
no, no.
sorry. What's this brother's name?
You talking about Isaac, the black guy or the white
Isaac.
guy?
Isaac.
Well, I kind of cut him off. I knew where he was going. I didn't want him to
I
go
was
there.
just no. I
Go
was just
ahead.
saying how many like Mark. See, we're
But
talking
why you
about.
asking that though?
See,
But why
Mark, an
you asking that
educated
though? Why
dude.
you asking? What's behind you asking how many marks are out there? Like what don't you know? What you trying to get at?
Because it's basically like the way you said it's like you trying to minimize.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I cut you off because I didn't want to go there. I see what he's saying.
No. Oh no. Well. Sorry, y'all misunderstood me. I didn't mean it like that. Cause see, I look at Mark. He's intelligent, educated. You know what I'm saying. He's not blue collar like me and like most truckers
No,
out there.
I am blue
That's
collar.
just what I was
No.
getting at. That's all.
No. I am blue collar.
Mm-hmm.
I am blue
You
collar.
blue collar.
I've never
Okay,
I've never had a white collar job. Listen.
Okay. I thought
Listen. You
you
thought what?
You was a manager for this place, this warehouse or
Listen.
somewhere.
When I was in college, I worked at the Gap. I was a stock supervisor, stock manager, stock
Okay.
supervisor. I'm in college.
Okay,
I work at a retail store. That's not white collar. I'm folding khakis, stocking them on shelves. What's white collar about that as a college student?
Okay.
What's white collar about after working that for 8 hours,
maybe-
going out, standing outside a nightclub because I'm not old enough to get in to pass out flyers, then having to get back up to go to school? Ain't nothing
Okay.
white collar about that. What's white collar about?
Manager. I thought you
The
said you was a
manager, stock supervisor, manager, same thing. Retail.
You weren't like a
That's
doctor or a
Alright.
lawyer.
I
that's
knew you
blue
had a
collar.
degree, so-
Well, here's the thing. Ain't nothing wrong with
Okay.
education. Listen. No, we got to make sure we make this mistake again. Just because you have an education degree doesn't mean you're white collar. White collar and blue collar represents more so the work you do. White collar is something like you corporate sales. Blue collar is you like a welder. White collar is like a surgeon. Blue collar is like a mover. White collar is something like a high level realtor. Blue collar is like
high level.
no, but I'm giving you I'm giving you the difference between white collar and blue collar. White collar is what your wife does. Blue collar is what you do. Ain't nothing white collar about climbing up 3 flights of stairs with 6 boxes strapped to my back.
Okay.
But here's the thing, ain't nothing wrong with white collar or blue collar. I just never been white collar. Just because I'm educated, that doesn't put me in white collar. It's just I'm book smart.
Get back to the immigrant stuff.
No, we
Yeah.
can talk.
No, this is what I'm trying to say to Isaac is that you would be right to say that things aren't as popular as far as learning a trade in certain places. it ain't popular. But to say it's because we lazy, that's what I'm trying to like. I don't know where you
No,
get
no,
that
no, no,
from.
no, 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 no. No, I ain't saying that. Nah, we ain't lazy now. I'll be putting
But see,
myself down.
but when the way, see, here's the thing: when you verbalize things a certain type of way, that's why I cut you off. But see, he caught it. I cut you off, but he caught it because he saw where you was gonna go. When you said, "Well, how many Martians out there?" That's just like minimizing us, like meaning a person with my mindset is the minority.
Yeah, yeah. I see what you're saying, but
So it's
that's one
like
way I was going.
that's where you was going with it because I don't see what no
But
other way you could go with it.
if that's what you believe, I want you to explain it. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
Well,
if that's your thoughts, that's your
well,
thoughts.
If that's what you believe, then
well.
you know.
Here's the thing. If
I'm
that's
gonna
what I
listen.
believe,
I'm
that's what
gonna
I
love
tell.
you anyway. I'm gonna love you anyway. We could
I know
agree
you
to
gonna love me
disagree.
anyway. Yeah, but that's one way I was going. I just explained it wrong. I was trying to give Mark his props, saying he was white collar because I thought he was a manager before he started trucking.
But here's the
You know,
thing. I'm the stock. Hold on. The stock room at a retail store. That's not white collar. I don't know if you don't know the difference between white collar and blue collar. White collar is more
I
corporate
do.
based. Okay, but working in a stock room, there's nothing white collar about that.
I didn't know you worked the stock room. I thought all I got was manager when I
Even
used to
if I
run the
worked
old
on the
store.
even if I worked on the sales floor as a sales manager, that's still blue collar. White collar is, I
It's
gave some
corporate.
examples of corporate.
It's
I
corporate.
mean,
It's
even
corporate.
though right, it's corporate. Working in the office, sitting in meetings all day, on Zoom calls, corporate sales, corporate marketing, all that shit. Going to work and you 50 floors up and you sitting in a conference room on a Zoom meeting. That's
You could
white
be in
collar.
meetings all day with being a manager at Walmart, a super Walmart.
That's corporate Walmart out in Benton, Arkansas. Yeah, if you corporate Walmart, yeah,
If you
that's white
getting on the
collar.
floor, if
Listen,
you getting
if
on the
you're in
floor, you ain't corporate.
right, if you're working in
If
a
you getting on
store
the
in any
floor,
right, if you're working in a Walmart store in any capacity, you could be the store manager. You could be the guy
Mark, I'll
who's
be
over
right
the
back.
store. That when you go into the Walmart store and the customer service office, they got store manager and they got the picture on the wall, and he's the guy that makes $150,000 managing that Walmart.
Right.
That's blue collar. That's
That's
not
blue
even
collar
white
too.
collar. If you're working in a store in any capacity, that's blue collar. It's blue collar. Okay?
Well, I
So
know at the
you
corporate
gotta
office
understand,
it's white
the
collar.
differences. Huh?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I know working at the corporate office.
if you work in the corporate office, yeah, that's white collar. You not listen, a store manager at
Yeah.
Walmart,
Yeah.
you see them sometimes in the back with the damn pallet jack pulling shit out to the floor. If they short staffed, they're gonna go get the pallet jack, they're gonna pull a pallet of bleach out. They may walk around there in khakis with a white shirt
I see
that
them.
says Brad store manager, but you also see them getting down and dirty too. So you can't put them in a white collar.
Yep. I
But
see
here's
the
there's
one
nothing
up there.
there's nothing wrong with white
I see the
collar.
one up there.
But I want you to understand the difference between the two.
No.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I got you. I got
all right, I'm out of here.
All right, appreciate you, Doc.
All right, thank you, Isaac. Thank you, Mark. Have a good one.
All right, later.
Okay,
Yeah,
man.
Isaac.
All right. Take
Huh?
care, bro. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, man.
yeah.
Yeah, I got it mixed up.
Link pin to the top of the chat.
Yeah.
Link pin to
Yeah.
the top of the chat. We still having
Yeah.
a conversation. The American trucker versus immigrant trucker debate. Link is pinned to the top of the chat, man. We want to get some immigrants up here, man. Like that. Like, hey, man. Tag your favorite immigrants that watch the channel, man. Tell them to get on in here.
I
man.
know some watching.
Oh yeah, they gonna
some
watch.
watching.
They gonna watch, but you know, they
Mhm.
gonna tread lightly too. You dig what I'm saying? Because check it out.
Mhm.
Ain't nothing lazy. Ain't nothing. The mindset is not messed up. The mindset is not construed. I know plenty of American people that look just like me, that don't look like me, that got their skin look like this, and they're gonna go out and get it. It don't have nothing to do
Yeah.
with a culture. Each individual,
Yeah.
right? Each individual, you have
Yeah.
to hold each individual accountable for their actions. If they want to be lazy, let
Right.
them be lazy. All right, you can't, man, these
Mhm.
black people or these Hispanic Americans, like I even see Hispanics, immigrant Hispanics frown on American Hispanics, or American Hispanics frown on immigrant Hispanics. I see Mexicans don't like Puerto Ricans, and Puerto Ricans don't like Mexicans. And their debate is, well,
Right.
we came over here on the
Yep.
boat, but they came over on the boat. We walked over. I've heard this. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it ain't just
Yeah. Yeah.
necessarily, this. You know what I'm saying? I'm speaking in general. What is the big issue? So instead of being a person that just watches people say this dumb shit, I'm gonna open the floor up, the platform. The link is pinned to the top of the chat to have a discussion. Now we can have a discussion or we could debate.
Yeah.
So to me, I can do it however. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna
Yeah.
continue
Yeah.
to if I know I got a platform and I see hate being spewed, I'm gonna
Mhm.
discuss it. Now I'm willing to discuss this shit.
Mhm. But hey, the topic was right about truckers talking about black truckers.
No,
They
the
putting down
topic is American trucker versus immigrant trucker, and the
versus
debate. And at
the
the beginning, I
debate.
don't know if you called it the beginning, but I gave the scenarios of the shit that I see. I mean, you can flick up through YouTube and you'll see it. You see
Right. Right.
immigrants trashing black Americans. You see Americans trashing immigrants. You see immigrants trashing Americans, and then they'll start singling out specific American groups. You see Americans trashing immigrant truckers, and then they'll start singling out different immigrant groups. It's disgusting.
Right. 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 Yep. Yep. It is. But yep. But I always go to this pilot truck stop right above my house. I always go there every morning. Get me a cup of coffee, and I talk to people every morning. And every morning I see different foreigners, Africans, Asians, Croatians, every morning.
Mm-hmm.
Very seldom, do I see, a lot of blacks and white truck drivers.
Mm-hmm.
Very seldom. Be honest with you, man. Every time I go up there damn near every day. Damn
Mm-hmm.
near every day. Just the whole conversation with other drivers like me, networking and stuff like that. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah. I
noticed that,
don't. So
man. I
yeah.
noticed.
So to me, here's the thing. Me personally, I don't look at race when I see people. If I see somebody that's going out and they going out and getting it, I just see a person that's going out and getting it. I'm not gonna never look at a person and say,
Yeah.
well, they going out and getting it because they're this,
Yeah.
or they're going out
Well,
and getting it because they look like this. To me, that's hate. That's hatred. That's
but
a person who
Mark,
got hatred in their heart. You see what I'm saying?
but listen
If you
here.
gonna go out
Listen,
and get it,
listen,
I just
listen,
see a person that's
listen
hungry,
here.
that's gonna go out and get it, that's looking to achieve something. They looking for to provide a comfortable way of living for
Listen
themselves
here.
and their family.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. And this is true. A black man can do anything he want to do. Anything he want to do. And I tell you what, I got family members who vouch for that. Anything he want to do. And that's where I got all my ambitions and advice and stuff from those people that came before me. Because they had everything that I wanted. Why wouldn't I listen to them? They had the big,
Mm-hmm.
nice homes, good jobs. You know what I'm saying? The nice cars and shit. Why wouldn't I listen to them? They got everything. So
Mm-hmm.
that was a plus. When I was young, I listened to those that came before me. I listened to my brother, my uncles, and stuff like that. They retired. All of them retired early. My brother
Mm-hmm.
retired from teaching and being a principal at 58 years old.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And my
Right.
all my uncles retired at 40 years old, and all they do is day trade.
That's what's up.
You know? Yeah,
Are
yeah.
they, let me ask you this:
So black,
are they American?
yeah, they're American.
All right. What ethnicity are they?
They're American men, black men.
Okay. So do you think it's true that the immigrant mindset, as far as work, is better than the American? We can single it out. The black immigrant.
No,
Okay, then it's all an individual. Would you say it's based on each individual person? Because you could put me up
yeah,
against any immigrant, and you can
yeah,
strip us of anything, and I'm going to outwork them. If you put me up against any
yeah,
immigrant, all right, I don't give a goddamn what nationality it is, and you strip us of everything, and you say, yo, this is what it is, I'm gonna beat them. I don't give a goddamn what they is.
yeah,
You could bring them over here fresh
yeah.
off the plane, off the boat, off of anything. I'm gonna beat them.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
If it's me against them, it's gonna be me.
It's gonna be me. It's got to be me.
So I look at it as a individual thing. An individual. You got different people with different individual mindsets. So I don't. It's not a culture thing.
You know
Because if it
why
was
I
a
said that before?
because if it was a culture thing, then I would be lazy. I
You
wouldn't
know
be
why
sitting
I
here.
said that to
I
you?
why
That a black man could be anything he wanted
why?
because I lived it. That's
Okay,
why I lived it.
yeah.
I sat on my couch. I sat on my couch when I was in my 30s, and me and my mama was watching TV, and I saw this oil rig out in the middle of the ocean, and I looked at that TV and stared at it. I said, "Mama, you see that?" And she said, "Yeah." I said, "Mom, I'm gonna do that one day." And she said, "I know you will, son." And not only did I do it, I did it with the largest oil company in the world, Saudi Aramco, and I was a manager for one of the largest service companies in the oil and gas industry, National
Uh,
Oilwell Varco.
that's what's
Right?
up.
That's that's right.
Isaac, I'm
That's
gonna give
right.
you credit for that because if I was a kid staring out that oil rig, no way in hell I'm going out there. And I ain't scared of the water, but man, I give you props for that because I don't know how. It ain't even black or white. How you, as a young guy, said I'm gonna be on that oil rig? That's like I don't
And,
know,
and look
man.
and look, Axel. Look, Axel. I started late. The oil rig is like one of those jobs you got to grow up on. You got to grow up in the oil
Yeah,
field.
I've
I
heard
started
about it. I
late
heard
in the
the
oil field.
stories.
And
I heard it's not
hey,
nice
I
on
had to
there.
do a job on an Egyptian oil rig, and I was on the Iran and Iraq border, and I was the only American out there. And I was out there for 6 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Link pin to the
But
top
I
of the
was
chat.
making
Axel, get in there.
I
You
was
ain't
making
said nothing in a while. Get in there.
You know, you probably had a better chance than me though, because if you were the only American on Iran Iraq border on an oil rig, definitely my white ass ain't gonna be over there.
shit, bro.
You had a better chance than me.
Let,
Hey,
let me
they
let
they
me
they hate.
go ahead.
Go ahead. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead. You got it.
No, they might hate the U.S. government, but they love America, man. I
Yeah,
met
I
the
know a lot
lady.
of them do.
They love America. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they just hate the government. That's all.
Well, Axel, you
Yeah.
got anything
I
else to
tell you
say?
that.
I don't think we're gonna get anybody else. I wanted an immigrant to come up here to give us a they thoughts, but I think maybe the immigrants that are
Immigrants
in
not
here
gonna come up here, man. They're still
kind of
driving those
agree.
trucks.
No. I think they may agree. Um, as far as at least from my perspective, I really listen. Check this out. I really listen. I really could care less, bro. I really could, but if I see things being spewed on the internet and I just feel like it's cap, and I know I got a platform and I can put out the correct information
Good night.
to kind of drown out a lot of that cap, then 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 that's what I'm gonna do. Right? You know what I'm saying? I welcome anybody. I don't really care if you feel like, yo, it's better opportunity over here for you, then that's what you're supposed to do. If you are in a situation and you looking to come out that situation and you're willing to uproot yourself, travel across the world or travel wherever across the water to come to a foreign land to make a better way, then hey, I'm for it. You dig what I'm saying? But when you get here, pimp, show some respect, especially when you, excuse me, especially when you try to single out certain Americans and frown upon us. I really despise that. I don't like it. And when people do that, I feel like if you're gonna do it, you got to come to the table and you got to be held accountable. You got to have that conversation. You got to have that conversation, and you got to make sure that you can back up the words that you saying with facts. If you can't back up the shit that you saying, then you just talking. It's just shit coming out your mouth. All right? Because there's some people out here that's black, that's Americans, that got it, that's holding it like that. All right? And if you can't face the music when the music playing, shut up. Get your money, take care of what you want to take care of, and enjoy the country that my ancestors built for you. Because check this out. If we wouldn't have went through slavery and built this country for free, you wouldn't have been able to come over here no way. You wouldn't have been able to come over here no way. Your kids would be sucking out the water fountain that say colored only. Your kids
Hey, Mark.
would, hold on. Your kids would be going to segregated schools. You would be sitting on the back of the goddamn bus. So show some respect. Show some respect. Show some respect. All right, y'all got it. I gotta go get me some water. Go ahead. You got your
Hey,
thoughts.
Go ahead, Isaac.
yeah. What I was saying is, what I was saying, what I was saying is, black folks, we set stage for other nationalities to come over here and be anything they want to be. You know what I'm saying? They can come over here and be a millionaire. Black folks set stage for him to come over here and be whatever they want to be. Yep, that's all I want to say.
What's your thoughts, actually, not on the black thing, but you can talk about the Ukrainians and the Russians and shit like that. I get
Well,
I
I'm
get
gonna touch a
pleasure
little
when you
bit.
say that shit. You want to
I
talk
was
about the
talking
black
about
thing?
civil rights,
Yeah, a little bit.
civil
Well,
rights.
Isaac said,
Okay.
the
Okay, go
black.
ahead. Go ahead.
I
Keep it
think
keep it clean though. Keep it
the
clean. Keep
yeah
it clean.
I always keep it clean. The past history was a combination of people. This country went through a lot of stuff, and this country is what 200 years old, maybe a little older now. But you had a lot of the foreign nationalities that came over and did help build this country. And I'm speaking on those foreign
Yeah,
nationalities.
yeah.
I think were better nationalities, and I'm not putting those other nationalities down. They just come from very poor and tragic countries, and I think their minds, let me look at it like this:
It's
the
okay to come from a poor
Arabics,
country. It's okay to come over
yeah,
here. But you
I
got to
got that.
show
Hold
your
on,
respect. You can't come over here and
I,
talk shit to the
I
people
got that.
who
Hold on,
made the
time
way for
out.
you to be over
Drink
here
your
in the first
water.
place.
It's like the Arabic people. A lot of
That's what I'm
Arabics,
saying, Mark. We
a
fought the
lot of
battle.
Arabics a lot of Arabics come over here, and they talk smack too. But when they come over here and they've been here for a while, they appreciate the country. A lot of them. Now it depends because every Arabic country is different. But I think once they come over here and they understand how America operates and they become assimilated, I think it's a little bit better for them. But when you come over and just right off the rip is just ripping into America and America this and black this and white this and you're lazy this and you just like I think you have issues that probably came from the way you were raised in your country. And you need to
Mm.
step back as a grown man and say, why am I talking about America? America's not doing anything. America's just here. But if
Mm.
America wasn't here, you better believe this would be a different world. 100%.
But but
Even
but
when we
Mark
went through with
Axel,
Hold on. Let him
uh,
finish. Let him finish. Let him finish. Isaac.
even
but
when we went through, with segregation and all that, that was a time in our history. This country has had a lot of growing points compared to other countries. But
Mm-hmm.
like I told Mark too before, this is a melting pot. America isn't just America. America is everybody. So when immigrants come over here and want to talk about
everybody.
American, I, I think it's dumb because America is everybody. It's not like German, Russian, Ukrainian, black, white. It's everybody. Either you're American or you're not. That's what makes this country powerful.
It's the dumbest
Right.
shit
But I think,
ever. But you see, like immigrants that come over here that get their citizenship, they shit all over us. I see it every day. Axel, I see it every day just scrolling on YouTube.
you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of a police officer. He was in school. He was picked on and he was a nerd. But as soon as he gets that badge, he's like, I'm the man. So like they
Mm-hmm.
come and they get their citizenship and they're like, I'm the man now. I can talk shit. But no, why would you want to? This is one big country. It's everybody. Not that it's the same as it was 30 years ago. I like to see what's going to happen in the next 30.
Hmm. What was your
But
thought, Isaac? Go ahead. I'm sorry. I wanted Axel to finish his thought. I'm just moderating here.
but
Isaac. Oh, he froze. He froze. Hold on. Let me get you up over here. Yeah, he froze. All right. Anybody else want to come up and get their thoughts? I mean, we got some Americans. A few Americans came up. Wanted some immigrants, but I don't know. It ain't looking too good, Axel. I don't think any. I think the immigrants that are
yeah,
here agree with us, and then the ones that may disagree, they may just be watching and just don't want to come up for whatever reason. We
yeah, I
got
know
almost 100
Costa would have
people
had
in here
some good
watching.
points,
No,
but
but Costas is
he
he's
was having dinner with
American.
his family.
Yeah, he's American though. But I was curious to hear his thoughts. You know what I'm saying? I am curious to hear his thoughts, but I wanted a different perspective, maybe from someone that disagreed to get an understanding of why uh they feel the way they do.
Well,
No, I don't think it's gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. It's
yeah, but
dangerous.
as far as the trucking goes with this, I think Americans need to speak up and start telling the immigrants too, even at the truck stops. When they see them throwing their crap around and all that stuff, they need to tell them this ain't your trash can.
Now to be fair though, Axel, because see, I've OTR is your thing, but to be fair, is that straight immigrant? I know I heard this other guy say this American truck. I saw him streaming, and he was ranting and raving about the foreign guys throwing all their trash around. Is it just the foreign guys, or is it
Not
American
nothing
guys
is
too?
ever nothing is ever 100% one party, but I'm just saying the
Mm.
majority of them don't care. Majority of them, I think they look at it as like, well, I'm on the road. This isn't my house. Maybe their house might be real nice, but when they go on the road to all the other states and stuff, I don't think they care.
Mark, your city is getting together 70 million to fund illegals. Damn it, Brandon. Well, where do you think that 70 million coming from? It's coming from Biden. So everything, even though it's not said that it's coming from him, it's coming from him. Like there's an agenda, all right. Whether people want to believe it or not, there's an agenda. The cities that well, the guys, let's say like Brandon Johnson, Eric Adams, I think what's his name out there in Denver, Brandon Johnston. A lot of these mayors were promised something from the White House to accept what was going on. They would quietly fund them because whatever's going on, um, it's obviously being funded by the Fed. This is why a guy like Brandon Johnson, a guy like Eric Adams accepted this task initially. And then when they got left flapping in the wind, hanging out to dry, they wanted to recant their sanctuary city status. The reason why they accepted sanctuary city and took it on is because they were promised something. What they didn't know is that there was a guy down in Texas that was going to shit all over him because he was going to completely go against Biden. See, they didn't expect that. They were promised a certain amount, a certain number, and they got bombarded. So because they're in politics and because they really don't give two shits about the people, the cities they serve, really because they work for us. If you're a New York resident, the mayor works for you. If you're in Chicago, the mayor works for the residents of Chicago. They don't care about that. Right? They get in, even if they only get 4 years, they do what they're going to do. They're going to set themselves up for the rest of their life within those 4 years, and they're going to shit all over you while they doing it, and they're going to go on about their business. That's why, people need to go to the polls. The voter turnout is at an all-time low. The only people that's voting is boomers and Generation X. Millennials ain't going to the polls and voting. Generation Z ain't going, the ones that's old enough, they ain't going to the polls and voting. So ultimately, it's them, the ones that's suffering the most, the millennials and the Generation Zs, and it's because they're not taking their lazy ass to the polls and vote. So you get what you don't vote for. You get hurt the most. Okay, yeah. So the Generation X's and the boomers that voted, that might have voted wrong, they got tricked with the trip bag. You gotta understand, they already set. Retirement, shit like that. Yeah, they taxes may go up, but shit, for the most part, they done already did they bid. And they good. Houses paid for. Shit like that. They just complaining about they property tax going up. It's the millennials and the Generation Z that's complaining because they suffering the worst from their laziness and not going to the polls and voting. So they got to deal with it. I could give a goddamn. I told you before. I don't give a damn. You could put Kermit Frog in that bitch. I don't care. You could put Kermit the Frog. You could put Mickey Mouse in the White House. You could put Donald Duck as the mayor, or Daffy Duck, or Oscar the Grouch. It's not gonna make me no never mind. It's not gonna make me a difference. Whatever we got to do to adjust, is what we gonna do, and we gonna still go out and we gonna go get it. But the difference is,
Mark,
go ahead.
We always hear, about the White House, White House, White House, White House. I think every state, the people need to start putting people in position that are doing the right things for their cities and their states, and the rest would fall in line.
They get tricked, bro. They get tricked. You do. Yeah, people go out, the people who do go out and vote, but they get tricked at the polls. And then the people that we do need to go out and vote aren't going out. Like in a city of 3-point-something million people, only less than 20% came out to vote the last election.
Yeah.
So the people are you have people that are going out. The people that are going out, they're being tricked. Let's talk. You want to talk? I never talk about Dawson, but this would be a good chance to use this. I'm not going to do a stream talking about her because I see all these guys from other cities that stream and make all this money off YouTube because they're YouTubers. So they find whatever narrative is popular and then they report on that stuff so they can get thousands and thousands of viewers, right? But let's talk about Tiffany here. I'm actually in Chicago and I don't talk about this lady. She got voted in that office. You know how she got voted in that office? Because people voted for her, right? Now, do you think the ideals that she ran on, right? The ideals that she ran on, do you think she's pushing those ideals now?
You ask me? Hell no. She's just sucking the money.
So basically, the narratives that she ran on, the things that she ran on, the talking points that she ran on, The political agenda that she ran on, she did the complete opposite. So those people were duped. They were tricked. The people that went out and voted, they were tricked. That's why they're there every Monday at those board meetings complaining. That's why the feds are running up in there now subpoenaing. That's why you got helicopters flying all around. That's why you got all these retards, YouTubers from all over the country flying here every Monday to go with their little phones and sit there and record. You be watching because you be sending me some of them. Talk about, Mark, why don't you go out there? You're right there. Why don't you go out there? And what do I always tell you, Axel? When you was like, why don't you go out there and live stream from out? What do I always tell you?
I don't remember.
You know what I tell you.
I
I said I'm not going to do that clown sucker shit. Right?
Yeah.
But here's the point. Somebody voted for her and put her in there. Politicians lie. They lie. You can't put all your
Mark,
faith.
Look at it like
you can't
this,
put all
though.
your faith
Look at
in
it
a
like
mayor.
this.
You can't put all your faith in a president. You got to go out there and do what's best for you and your family. You can't be hoping and when Trump get in or when Biden get in or when Obama get in, he gonna make it better. No, it don't work like that. They're gonna do what's best for them.
But my opinion, Mark, I think you should go there because you can analyze, you can give a whole nother perspective. It's like when I'm talking about voting, and not everyone's running out to vote. But people need to see other people's views and angles. Like you could go there, you could look, you could study, and you could say this, this, and this. The one YouTuber is coming from wherever, New York. The other one is coming from I don't know. The other
Oklahoma.
one, he's a
One from
clown
Oklahoma.
to me because I think he's a disgrace because he's just talking nasty. He's smoking a doobie. Like you're sitting just. How can anyone take you seriously? You're gonna listen. People follow people who they align with. So he's gonna get the riffraff following him. The Long Island guy is gonna get the YouTube guys following him. You, if you went, I think you would get a more educated person. So I think you just need different perspectives.
But here's the thing. I live in Chicago. I don't live in Dalton. So for me to go out to Dalton would be to be chasing clout, right? Because I know if I stream this, I'm gonna have 4, 5, 6,000 people watching, right? And I can run up a YouTube check. I'm not a fucking clout chaser. I do box truck content for free, right? To help people that are coming up under me that are new. I'm not a clout chaser. So when I see that, yeah, I get it. If I went out there in comparison from the guy from Long Island, you got the guy from Oklahoma, you got the other guy who don't never come out here, who just sits at his computer and live streams the other guy's live streams, and all these guys got 4,000 or 5,000 people watching. They all getting super chats, but they all claim that they're for the residents of Dalton, but they all making a bag off of it. If you was really concerned about the residents of Dalton, turn your monetization off so you can't get no super chats. They chasing clout. Me going out there, yeah, I can give a better perspective because I'm from here. I'm from here, but I know, but here's the thing. I don't have any general interest in what goes on in Dalton because I'm not a Dalton resident, even though it borders Chicago. It's right outside of Chicago. I don't pay taxes in Dalton. I don't own no property in Dalton. What goes on in Dalton don't affect Mark. It don't affect me. My mother don't live in Dalton. My brother don't live in Dalton. I don't have no family members that live in Dalton. So it would just be to chase clout. Even if I went out there and I turned my monetization off, it doesn't directly affect me, and it's not going to serve a purpose for anybody. It would just be me going out there to be in the mix like the rest of these people. None of these people even live in Dalton. They don't even have a fucking voice. They out there chasing clout. If that's not clout chasing at its fucking finest, then I don't know what it is. So yeah, I can go out there. Hold on. So I can go out there and say, yeah, this is bogus, this is bogus, that's bogus, that's bogus, that's bogus, this bogus. Well, that's good, but that's bogus, this bogus, this bogus. And then what? Man, Mark got 100,000 views.
But you would be given the view as a Chicago. You're in that state. Just like when you talk about trucking, you're in trucking. Those guys are on the outside. You're better to discuss it. And not even to say pick on the mayor, but you
Mhm.
could say, well, they're doing this over here, and this is wrong. This is not the way it's supposed to be done, and vice versa. You could do a straight line analysis, not all this bickering back and forth, or they did this and they did this. No, well, the mayor took this much money. The mayor's doing this. Yes, this is not good for the people. Because when we talk about politics now, those are the kind of people you don't want in politics. To me, she had no experience. She's young. She is a woman, and all of a sudden she became mayor, and she got like this big, huge power trip. That's the worst person you want to put in a position. Same as a police officer. If they're a person that needs a badge or a title to feel powerful, you do not want them in that job position.
Well, here's the thing. Here's how I look at it. They put her in there, right? That township has about 20,000 people, but I see more
Yeah,
people from the outside of that township, so called fighting for that township. Now, there's a guy named Jedediah Brown. What you've probably seen him if you've been watching. He's
that's
from
all.
Chicago. He's from Chicago, so he's out there. He got a big platform. He got 100,000 followers on Facebook. So he's a voice, and he has a history, and he's built a career around what do you call it? Protest, not protesting, but he's like an what do you call it? An ad what is that called?
Activist.
Activist. He's an activist. When
Yeah.
Laquan McDonald got killed, he was down there marching for Laquan McDonald. When the girl came up dead at the Crown Plaza hotel out there by O'Hare Airport, he was out there fighting, getting arrested. He has a history over the years. He's built a following of being an activist. He's an activist. So I would expect that from an individual that's an activist. I'm not an activist. All right. I don't want to go sit there and hold my phone for hours and hours and hours just to capture some viral content so I can get a bunch of subscribers and a bunch of views. And if I leave it monetized, make a bunch of money. I'm not here for that. So even though I know I can go out there and give a better perspective, that's not my purpose. I'm not a clout chaser.
Yeah, that's why I said,
I know if you were here, you would be out there. And here's
yeah,
the thing.
I would go for the action reporting.
But see, here's the thing. Look at it like this. Now those two guys that you talk about, the one from Long Island, the one from Oklahoma, they into it. Y'all into it, and y'all not even from here. Cause one guy called the police. You're not even from here, and you out here trying to cover business that you don't even like. You don't even know the politics. You think you're doing something the whole time. You being watched. This
Yeah.
lady, just because she's a lady, like you said, she's a lady, but you like that lady. She's plugged, bro. She got them people around her. So everybody that's out there streaming, they on their ass. Every time they come here, they fly here, they drive here, they get more aggressive with them and more aggressive with them. Why would I want to create that type of environment for myself when I don't even have any business in that township? None whatsoever.
Yeah, but the thing that those two do is they create the aggressiveness. Like if you just went strictly as like a reporter, just to gather the story, talk about a few things, but you see them before and after the streams, they're talking all crazy. So that I see them as clout chasing. If you went strictly as like a reporting individual to get the story, see what's going on, and get maybe some facts that are coming up, then that's different to me. Like the one guy, I think he's hanging out with the council people. I wouldn't be doing that. He's hanging out with them, going to eat dinner
I
afterwards. After
think
they
I
picked on
think
the mayor, he's hanging out with the
I
council
think
members.
the whole thing is clout chasing. I think anytime
Yeah.
you travel outside of your market to come to another market to intertwine with some business that doesn't even have anything to do with you, you're clout chasing. You're doing it for the popularity. You're doing it for the money, right? Doing it for the clout. You're doing it for the clout because if you look at these guys' channels have transitioned from whatever they were before into the Tiffany Henyard show.
But that's because they're doing biased reporting. You need to be an unbiased reporter.
Man, they're doing clout chasing at its finest for money.
You can do cloud chasing as long as you stay unbiased. Because
Uh, uh,
if
uh,
you're media,
but,
I mean, of course you're gonna do it for for the attention.
but
But
but I want you to look at it this way. Other than Jedediah, how many major internet YouTubers or whatever do you see from this market out there doing that shit?
none of
None.
them really. But there's
Why?
not
Okay,
really that.
so hold on. So let me put you, because everybody want to get in Chicago business. Let me explain to you something. Why do you think that is? So why is it that no one from here is getting into that business? It's a reason why. So just like when Buddy came here the last time, they got on his ass, the white boy from Long Island. And just like the dude from Oklahoma, now they into it because it ain't got nothing to do with them. They don't know that they being watched. You're not from here.
Yeah.
You getting in business that don't belong. It's a reason why people from here ain't in that business. You think that lady carrying it like that and she ain't got them people with her like that? That lady is plugged. But see, these guys don't know that because they not from here. She's plugged. And you may not know what plug means, but the people that know what plug means, they know what plug means. When she do like that,
She
and
needs to
them
get unplugged.
when she go do like that, and she ain't even gotta say it, she do like that, and them people go get them people up out of there. She's plugged, bro. Them guys that's out there that's on that force, they're plugged. They not plugged with just a police badge, they're plugged. So let them residents, that's they gonna fight their own battle. That's why you don't see Chicago people going out there getting in that business. Because we know what that is, we know how it's going to end up, and it ain't got shit to do with us.
Yeah.
And those Long Island and the other guy, they slowly finding that out the hard way.
Yeah, Long Island's Long Island, but the other guy, I think he goes overboard.
All right. Well, if he come out here the next time, they're
way
going to
overboard.
get way more aggressive with him. You'll see.
Right.
But man, I think it was a great conversation tonight. We kind of veered off. I don't think anybody else is going to come up here to speak. I was hoping we could get a different perspective from the other side of the water, or the other side of the other side of the water, but I guess not. So I don't know. I just in closing, I just think that I just wish we could all get along. Like, you know what I'm saying? I wish people would just focus on what they got going on, and and stop spewing false narratives. And I only can really speak from a perspective of my ethnicity. Like, I really despise when people pit, their culture versus our culture, and then they narrow it down from American all the way down to black. I hate that shit, especially when it comes from other black people. Like, I want to play something real quick. Hold on. I really want to get another thought on it, but I want to play something. Hold on.
We don't want them here.
What? They're your brothers.
They're not our
and
brothers.
sisters.
They're not our brothers.
They are.
If you were born in America and have lived there for 300 years, you're no longer African. Those are Americans. We don't need them.
We don't need
They
them
were
to develop.
taken away, unfortunately, but they are Americans. We will develop by ourselves. Yeah, we have the capacity, we have the will, we have the resolve. We don't need them. No.
I totally agree with you. Thank you so much, sir.
We don't want them here.
What? They're your brothers.
They're not our
and
brothers.
sisters.
They're not our brothers.
They are.
If you were born in America and have lived there for 300 years, you're no longer African. Those are Americans. We don't need them.
We don't need
They
them
were
to develop.
taken away, unfortunately, but they are Americans. We will develop by ourselves. Yeah, we have the capacity, we have the will, we have the resolve. We don't need them. No.
I totally agree with it. Thank you so much, sir.
Now she's laughing and shit the whole time, and I hear what he's saying. Not saying I agree with him or I disagree with him, but when I first saw this video, you know what it did for me? You know what it did for me? You there?
Yeah, go ahead.
It put things into perspective on why they treat us the way they treat us. Now I understand why they treat us the way they treat us. So ever since I saw this video, I've been labeling myself a Black American. Now I know my descent is from Africa. I know it's from Africa. All right, I know my descent is from Africa. But this helped me understand why they hate us so much.
Now, was that guy in
And
America?
he's in Africa. And she's laughing and shit. And then she said she totally agreed. She thought the shit was funny. He said, well, they were taken from us, unfortunately, but they're American. Right? We didn't ask to be here. Okay, we didn't ask to be here. We came, and obviously we became conditioned to the environment that we've been in for the past 300, 400 years, whatever, however many years it's been. Of course, our ideals and our way of life and our culture over here differs from theirs. But
You
to
think
listen
if
to
he's saying the same
this,
thing when he comes over here and gets everything and then finds out how America is, you think he's still going to consider himself different?
I think he is going to consider himself different because they come over here, they take what they want, they send it back, and they feel the way they feel.
Well.
But that right there, because I mean, this guy was very articulate,
He
and
said 300 years. You guys have been here for 300 years?
I guess so. I guess so. But that gave me the answer that I was always looking for, because I was always looking for the answer, and that gave me the answer. Remember, I had a conversation on the Wise Men about that, and that conversation was before I saw that video.
Well, if we talk about what I think we talk about, that to me, I told you I felt I didn't understand how that went down.
What went down? What?
For when one black person tells another puts another black person down, I didn't get that.
What are you talking about?
You want me to say?
I don't even know what
The
you're
time
talking
with
about.
the time with Kirk, when Kirk was talking about black people, I didn't get that whole thing.
Man,
He's
listen.
black, you're black. How's he putting
Here's
other
the
black
thing.
people down?
But that goes back to some people, even though they got the skin, they don't consider themselves. They pit themselves like this guy. When you're not from America, like a lot of people that are black that are not from here, they pit themselves against Black America and they look down on us. They feel that they're superior than us. So it kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier as far as the American trucker versus the immigrant trucker. They look at us like we lazy. You've seen him go on his tangents. He does it all the time.
Yeah.
Even after that, whatever that was last Sunday, he's done gone off on tangents this week. He's done said things geared toward me. So regardless, they're going to always feel superior to us and for whatever reason. But here's the thing. My platform is open. I haven't met an immigrant box trucker on YouTube that I feel like is superior to me. Immigrant.
I don't think I've ever seen one of them act like that on YouTube.
You know, so but that, I mean, since you brought that up, that's just a great example. Now, his mindset as far as what he feels, that's just what he feels. Maybe it's from upbringing, maybe it was instilled with him as coming up.
Yeah.
But you can't come over here and say that, man, the black person, I mean, he went on one earlier the other day. See, that's the culture. Like, bro, listen, nah, I'm getting it. We can go bag for bag. We can go big bank, take little bank. So it's false. It's cap.
Yeah.
Because everything that I got, everything I acquired, it came from the mud and it all came legal. So it's untrue. We can go bag for bag. They don't want to do that though. But people can sit on the internet and they could talk. But they not gonna put their bags up because they can't even pay the bags that they already owe. Hey, I lost money last night. Check this out. I lost money last night on Devin Haney. You think DraftKings? You think I could tell DraftKings it was just a joke?
No.
All right then. DraftKings, I had to put that money. That money had to be in DraftKings. I placed that bet. And if Devin Haney didn't win that fight, DraftKings wasn't going to give me my money back and say, all right, man, it was just a joke. That money gone. I ain't going to never see it again unless I bet on another bet today. I bet on an NBA game or something today for that same amount of money, for that same wage, and I win it and win it back. Because I gave them my word, and they said, fuck your word, nigga. That money got to be in this app. We finna take that. We gonna hold on to it. I can't go back and, man, it was a joke. It was a joke.
Yeah, no, I gamble, but I never seen jokes like that.
All right, so ain't no way. So, man, can't no person say that the mindset fucked up when motherfuckers can't even keep their word. And then talk shit after you piece the shit up with them and let them slide. So fuck letting the shit slide. Run what you owe. Can't nobody be better than me that don't keep that's not keeping it funky. And we can put it, listen, the shit is long. What up, man?
What's up, man? What I miss? Sounds like a hot one.
Yeah, man. I just went off on a tangent right now, man. I went off on a tangent,
Who is this?
man.
Mike G.
Mike G.
Oh. I don't know
What up?
Mike G.
Man, Axel just tripping. He not used to seeing people that look like him up on the platform.
Yeah, he called me a scammer in the chat a while back. I've been meaning to talk to him about that.
Oh man, let's cook up.
Really?
Let's cook up.
Yeah. No, it's all good. I just I mentioned something about dispatch. I get that Axel does not like dispatchers. I think he took what I had to say the wrong way.
Well, let me clear. The dispatchers I'm talking about are all the foreign dispatchers from overseas, or the dispatchers that are using multiple MCs, because I've been seeing a lot of guys get screwed. If you're talking about dispatchers working strictly for you, that's different.
Yeah, no, I mean, we all get those calls every single day. It's the fucking bane of my existence as a trucker. Trust me. No, I just mentioned that, because it happened on that night when you had when Mark had, I call it the horror stories, testimonials. He had the old man, the young guy, and then the one black chick jumped on. She was talking about 20% dispatch, and that's when I mentioned in there that I charge a dude 10%. 3% goes to factoring, and if I'm doing that, I'm not a professional dispatcher, but I do like to have a partner carrier around me in my local area out here in the PNW, and so, like, I got a guy right now. I don't even like using the name mentor, mentee, all that shit, because there's so many, negative connotation with that, and these other content creators that scammed a bunch of people. But if I take a dude, I'm charging him 10%, 3% is going to factoring, and I'm all his carrier packets. You know the whole deal, all the documents. I'm doing all that and teaching him at the same time, so that when his MC gets to 6 months, he don't need me no more. You know what I mean? That's all I was saying. But yeah, I mean, the professional, I just hang up. If you saw the list of blocked numbers on my phone, bro, it's 1,000 deep.
I'm the
You know what I
same.
mean?
Trust me,
So
I know.
yeah, it's a problem. But
It's
what's
just
the deal
because,
with the?
Mike, it's gotten so bad. It's like really bad. Like the other day, a broker told me that a shipper booked a load with the dispatcher. That dispatcher actually had a fake broker bond. Like they're doing all kinds of crazy stuff, and then I see these guys sending their socials, their EIN numbers, all their corporation, and they're sending it to these Pakistani guys overseas. And I don't know, man. You might as well send them your title to your house and everything too. I just feel like people are so desperate to get loads, they don't even realize what they're doing to themselves or what they put themselves in.
Yeah, I mean it's. Well, I mean that point it's education, education, education. I wish I would have had. Mark would have been around when I was studying. I used to be an electrician. COVID fucked that up. That's the short version. I knew a dude who was doing Amazon, so I started this little box truck company. But I studied with no help. You know what I mean? For about 3-4 months, I'm watching YouTube. I got the DAT subscription way before I ever got a load. I studied that board. I identified loads that are repeat. Start getting an idea, and you have to have somebody. It doesn't have to be a paid mentorship, but if you're jumping into this without just like talking to somebody who knows what they're doing, I mean, you're setting yourself up for failure. I mean, like sending all those documents and all that stuff. I mean, you got to. I mean, trucking aside, you got to be kind of a dummy just to do that anyway. I don't care what. I don't care what it
See
is.
that
You know what I mean?
that I see. I have another problem too because on our side, in the van side, I've had my authority a little over 5 years now. And there's another guy that's had his about the same, but he's driven a lot longer than me. But then we got these young guys coming in and having webinars and mentorships and all stuff. We're like, these guys don't even have MC numbers. They don't even do OTR. They don't even have the time. But then you have all these other new people following them and grown men following these kids. So that's why I
Yeah,
come after all these clowns because it needs to
yeah,
stop.
yeah. I mean, it's just like that's why I watch. I'm not trying to swing from anybody's nuts here, but Mark's channel is the best. I mean, what I've seen previous to him coming around, and still now, it's just there's always room for improvement everywhere. But I just don't see any other channel that's really putting that much information out. You know what I mean? That's relevant or that you can count on as being accurate. I must have watched a million YouTube videos when I was setting up, getting ready to get going, and I really can't. I'll tell you what. The one video that I watched that was good was the white boy that used to. I don't know what happened. I think they had a falling out or something. He was with trucking out the box, and he had a couple videos um, where he was like, booking a load on. Like the video was him booking a load in real time, and that was very helpful. But other than that, you know what I mean. I just don't. It's just fluff. People are just trying to get views or whatever. And I don't even have a YouTube channel. I mean, how much money are you even making? Like, I don't get it. You know.
Nothing.
You don't make no money
You
doing
don't
this
make no
stuff.
money. Listen, the guys that are making the money,
That's what.
you know the guys that are here for the money versus the guys that are really here to help. At first you might have didn't, but I mean, people are able to decipher now who's who and what's what. All right, the guys that are here to make money are the guys that are pushing shit on you, pushing shit on you, pushing shit on you. The guys
And
that
they're.
are here to go ahead.
Oh, I was saying. So the point of that being, they're just trying to get slang mentorships, then, right, or
Well,
whatever.
well, here's the thing: the mentorships and the YouTube money, but this is a small space. So, like, you're not gonna get hundreds of thousands and millions of views in this space. So your YouTube monetization dollars are gonna be very, very minimal. Mine are minimal to the point where I don't make anything because I like to score my intro. So I'm playing commercial rap music and shit. So I don't get anything. When you hear me coming on
Yeah,
here
because you're.
playing like Young Dolph and all that stuff, that just wipes me out of monetization, right?
Yeah,
Because
you're spending a little bit more money to make your shit pop, though. Your stuff, your
I'm spending,
channels, you know.
right. I spend money. I pay for the thumbnails. I score the intro, and like so that wipes me out of monetization. Period. Now, the the times when I do play like my own music and shit like that, the most man these videos may make these live streams if there's like no super chat, maybe like $3, $4, $5. It ain't no money. It ain't no money.
Yep.
I want to
You
make a
know.
couple videos. I'll get around to it. I kind of took some steps back when I did that consult with you. I want to
Mhm.
make a couple videos about just I see all these dudes, man, like it's just not doing it right. Just how to do this. Box trucking is not that hard, man. Aside from
Well,
the business aspect of it, just the little stuff you need to be successful. How to what to have in your truck, and
mhm.
how to just identify the DAP board, what's on the DAP board, and most of my business it's slow right now. I'm sitting here at the truck stop in my Dodge waiting to go do this Amazon right around the corner because I don't the DAP board is slow right now, and so I do Amazon as a backup usually.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
and the thing with my little hustle out here, the P&W Pacific Northwest is not a hot zone freight wise already. So what saved me 2 years in, and this is what I try to hammer into a couple guys that if you want to call mentor, if you want to call it
Mhm.
that,
Mhm.
is the relationships that you establish. So I'm still eating good. I'm still hitting my mark. My mark is I need 5,000 a week. I average 1,000 a day across a 5-day work week, or I get grumpy. And the only thing that's keeping me that's keeping me in those margins
Mhm.
is the relationships I've established with brokers. I'd say on an average, at least, spitballing 30 to 50% of all the stuff I do is brokers that just toss me loads, right?
Mhm.
But
That's it.
Mike,
They don't put them
that's
on the
the
DAP
key.
board. They know I'm good for it. I have the next
But
best thing to dedicate to a dedicated contract as you can get with a couple, nationwide companies. There is a broker in the middle, but I don't even have to call him. He just sends me the rate con every week. I just go do it. And if it wasn't for that,
but Mike,
I'd be fucked.
Mike, that's the key there though, and that's what a lot of these guys don't understand. They want to get a truck or a van, and they just want to get a dispatcher. They will never build any relationships.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Never. They
saying. And
don't know. They don't know anybody.
I wish my
You
boy
you
Lionel
you're
was
di-
here.
yeah, you're
Oh, go ahead.
dispatching. Even you're dispatching for someone else. You're building those relationships that'll actually help you more.
100%. But I'm what like when I so like Lionel's this dude that he's about 6 months. He's about 80% out on his own now. Off the leash. And I've told him from day one, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to hold this, hold you on a leash forever, bro. I'm gonna show you how to do this for yourself. So now he's booking his own loads and and that's it. But I mean, like my thing was I came in, if you just watch content and that's your only intro into this business, you're gonna think, oh, I need a dispatcher, I need this, that, and the other. So I found a dispatcher when I started, but I'm a DIY guy, you know what I mean? A real hustler. It's like this chick was awesome. Super great, super on it. This chick from California, her and her husband got a box truck company. She did everything great, but she was, it's kind of an interactive process. So I'm sending her documents and stuff. So the point is, the whole time I dispatched with her for like 6 months. Um, I'm peeping the game. I'm starting to book some of my own loads, and then she got pregnant and had to step away, and I was ready to go, and never look back. It's like I tell people, don't pay a dispatcher, dispatch yourself. Unless you've got a situation, that dictates that, you need that, or you just don't have time to do it, or you're not, if you can't. I tell people too, bro, this business comes down to how well you can rock that phone. Can you get those documents sent to the guy fast enough before some other
Yep.
guy comes along and books the load while the broker's waiting for you to send your W-9? You know what I mean?
So
Like,
basically,
there's
what
a
you're
couple
saying is
apps.
it's very
It ain't that
competitive.
hard.
It's very competitive. It's basically what you're saying.
100%. I've had loads get taken from me in the early, in my early days while I was sitting there fumbling around trying to get the documents sent to them to get set up. You
Uh,
know what I mean? Now, a lot of times it's RMIS and it's easy, but you got Adobe fill and sign, you got Amazon Relay, you got the
mhm.
DAP board, you got your email. And if you can figure out how to rock all those apps functionally, I mean, it's not, there's no reason to pay somebody unless you're a new MC. You know what I mean? And that's where these guys, like he was saying, they get preyed on. I was fortunate enough to have a homie in the business, and he didn't even know what the DAP board was. He just was only doing Amazon in Seattle. So, and we've been friends for so long. I was fortunate enough to be blessed with I had a buddy with an MC that I trusted enough to send my money to his bank account. And you know what I mean? I'm getting all my money. And what I did for him was I started dispatching him loads off the DAP board and showed him the whole other side outside of relay. That was the deal we had. But if you don't have, and you know, who has that? Very few people. So if you don't got that, a lot of these dudes are just running out and getting their stuff. And then they come to find out on day one, they can't book a load. That's step one. Who's whose MC are you going to use? You know?
I've said before to Mark too, some people, they think they're going to come into trucking, whether it's a box truck, semi, van, whatever, and they're going to run a business, but they don't have the education or the mind to even do basic math. And they don't understand there's a lot of stuff involved. It's not just, hey, I got a truck, now I'm going to get loads. For longevity be in this business, you need math. You need to be quick in the emails. You need to make the connections. There's
Yeah,
a lot involved. But a lot of people,
that's
they
it.
don't understand. If you're just going to be a driver, then be a driver. Get with a good company. Not just get your MC, get a van, and then get any dispatcher's going to suck your blood. Some are taking over 20% to these
Well,
guys,
hey,
and
that
these guys
that
have their
night
own MCs.
that chick said 20%, bro. I was out in Montana in a blizzard, pulled over, and I was pressing the fucking link button. I wanted to talk to her so
Yeah.
bad. It's like, how do you justify? How do you? I don't know. Sleep at night.
But
I don't know.
it wasn't really about her justifying. They paid it.
100%. Hey, that's the thing right there. You're right. 100%. But still, even though we're all our own men, and if at the end of the day, it is their responsibility. But
Right.
still, I'm looking at her going,
Listen.
now,
Value is what a person is willing to pay for something. I think I kind of
100
jumped
you're
down there
right.
too, but then I had to correct myself. Like, well, shit. If they goofy enough to pay it, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
That's on them. Like, it's suckers. Listen, it's scammers born every day. It's suckers born every day. All right.
Yeah, you
Just
said that too. You did some videos, and I agree with what you said a lot, which is the same on the same vein. There is
Mhm.
you talk about dudes being grumpy and bitching and moaning about cheap freight, but then you point out that this dude had this Peterbilt since 1982. He done rebuilt the motor 3 times. All he's got is money. You know what I mean? So if your expenses are, I look at that really helped me frame my mind a little bit. It's like, you know what, man, he's right, dude. It's like, you're not, I mean, I ain't mad at nobody that steals a load I want. You know what I mean? Because they got up earlier to check the relay board, or, it ain't cheap freight. It's exactly, the value is what you attach to it and what you're willing to do.
And that's why I pray on that a lot. And a lot of people hate that I do that, because you got me speaking from that perspective, and most of my peers, most of them in this space, are preaching something totally opposite. So they kind of drown me out. So when people hear me, it's just like it's like I'm speaking a foreign language until they get their goofy ass out here and they realize, like, yo, this is a very expensive business. The margins are small. Like, you got to come into this business as cheap as possible.
Yeah.
You got to come into this business
Mark,
as cheap as possible. Yeah.
I got to jump off. This guy's about to go to bed. I got to get my food and stuff,
Damn, bro, another grown man is dictating how you move and shake out here in the world, bro.
He's going to go to bed, man. He's got the food and stuff in his house. He's got to plate of food for me, man. I'm in the woods.
Hey, man, do what you got to do, man. I just never heard a grown man saying they got to go somewhere because another grown man is finna feed them. But do what you got to do, man. If that's how you living, that's how you living.
Down here with me. I'm in the middle of the woods.
Hey,
like a
McDonald's before he leaves, hey, before he jumps off, though, I was going to ask you one thing real quick, Axel. You said something the other night, and this is only interesting to me because I do business with both of them. You said something the other night about your mom and pop factoring company. See, I remember everything, bro. But you said Nolan is owned by, or OTR is owned by the brother of. yeah. So,
Yeah, one of the
and you should you
brothers
play.
from NTG owns OTR.
So you presented a scenario where I think what you're saying is, they could potentially be taking your BOLs from OTR, sending them over to Nolan, and then sniping business. Is that something actually is happening, or is that a potential, like
Hell
you're
yeah,
saying?
everybody does it. It doesn't even have to be the factoring company. It's just like the app guys for the vans. And they put on these 100 vans to run underneath the apps. All these drivers, they're getting that paperwork. Now these guys, because they're carriers, can back solicit those customers that came from that broker. So like if you have a good broker, you don't want his customer getting out there, because what'll happen is these guys, especially the foreign guys, they're going to come for that customer and they'll start underbidding. All they know is to underbid to get the contracts. So I have one good broker. I get paid very well from him, but his
Yeah,
customer is his customer. No one else gets to bid on his loads. So the last thing you want is information floating around.
yeah.
That's what.
I do a
So
bunch of business with NTG. That's one of my main gigs,
listen,
man.
NTG. I used to be gold carrier with them back in the day. NTG has gone down the hill. I don't. Do you watch my channel?
I don't, admittedly, but that's nothing personal.
I did.
I just don't watch. I don't watch a lot of content. I only got time for Mark.
Okay,
I don't.
Hey
listen.
man,
On
hey, I
mine,
appreciate
But
that,
if
man.
you,
I
hey,
appreciate that.
if you point me in the direction of it and any videos, I'll absolutely watch it. But I'm just saying, I don't
well,
watch big,
even on there,
big,
there's a
whatever his name
even
is,
on
and
there. I did a show on NTG where they ripped off a veteran. They owed him about $50,000. Fifty
Yeah,
thousand they owed him.
Axel is a more an investigative
I
reporter
go
as
to the
far as in the trucking
corporations and
space.
everything.
Right. He'll put your house on your address on Front Street. He's gonna dox you.
So
He's
many
gonna
yeah,
do
yeah.
all that.
I
He's
don't
gonna
want no
do all that.
problems.
No, he's not gonna do it to you. He does it to like the big corporations and the big dispatchers and all that shit
It's just
and
like
Yeah.
the
you
other
ever hear the
content.
you ever heard of Millhouse? You
Yes.
heard of Millhouse? Millhouse
Yes.
has 7 owners and they have 42 MCs. So you don't see
Yeah. See,
anything wrong with that?
that's a side of the game I'm uneducated. See, there's a lot of stuff. I know I've done really well. I've done 2 years in a row, 250,000 gross. Didn't know shit about it 4 months before I started, but I know there is an ocean of information that I am unaware of and have not got a chance to tap into, and I'm always on the hunt
It's
for it.
gotten
You know what I
worse in the
mean?
past 2 years. It's gotten worse in the past 2 years. Even
Yeah.
OTR. Let me ask you something. You use OTR?
Yes.
Okay. Do they charge you to turn in your invoices?
Oh, bro, don't even get me fucking started about. You're talking about ACH fees?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they hit me with when I started, and I've been with them 2 years. When I started, they were it was $1 per schedule, right? Schedule is a bunch of invoices you turn in at the same time. And then I got a letter or an email from my team, which the chick I deal with, I really like. Shout out to Summer Sandusky. But yeah, they increased their ACH fees by $5, and she had to give me the company line that they had told all their people to say about they. And how I knew what it was because they didn't actually say the bank raised their rates, which didn't happen. What it is in a declining freight market, these motherfuckers raised their fees 400% to make up for lost revenue in a declining market, and they're taking it
No,
right
they're
off the
just all
backs
bloodsuckers.
right
Listen,
off
you
the
know what my
backs of the
factoring?
trucker who's paying all the fuel, who's also suffering from lower rates and less freight and paying all your fuel, which ain't gone down. And so I was pissed. But at the end of the day, the reason I stay fucking with OTR because RTS has won't stop offering me the whole world to switch over is that app, bro. Again, it's the apps. The app is so functionally perfect and so easy and the idea of changing factoring companies and going through a buyout, and people don't even know about what's the thing that it's like some sovereign citizenship, but it's real that what is it called, UCC? Yeah, about a
UCC
UCC,
UCC
a
lean.
UCC, yeah, on your company. Nobody knows what that shit is. You think you're just going to pick up and leave your factoring company, you know So
Wait, wait. They put a UCC lien on you?
all factoring companies do.
No, I thought you were talking about OTR Solutions. Okay.
I am, yeah, factoring company. All factoring companies have a
Is this
UCC.
is this the OTR Solutions that Vic and the box truck couple will be promoting?
Yes.
Why did I think they were a dispatch company?
They're the biggest. That's the biggest factoring company in the world. Unless Axel, you want to correct me. I believe it goes OTR, RTS, and then you get off into some of the smaller ones.
I thought they were a dispatch company. Is this the same
OTR
company we're talking about?
Factory.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm thinking about a different company. Hold on.
Let me tell you about my factoring company. Is how they work. Straight 3%, 0 fees. If you turn it in before 1 o'clock, you'll have it the next day. If you want a wire, it's $10. If you want it like within 30 minutes or an hour, it's $10. There's no freaking fees anywhere. If I need to check an MC, usually I'll screenshot it. I'll send it to the email to my girl, because you got your own girl, and she'll say, hey, they're good or they're not good. And that's it.
Yeah.
They do have
you got
some
that
kind of
OTR app,
portal
though.
app.
You got that OTR app. You don't got to do that. They got the broker check on there. That's what I'm saying. That app, bro, is so.
Listen, they do have some kind of portal or something, but I just always been used to dealing with my girl.
Hey, actually, what was the dispatch?
How many companies do they work with, though? That's the other thing. Like, you know what I mean? How many companies do they work with? Are they going to work with everybody? And then I got to deal with trying to fucking invoice somebody and all that.
Listen, I know guys that can't use certain companies with OTR. I had one guy, he left OTR, and he switched to mine. And he said they wouldn't let me use this company. They're playing a game over their OTR.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to squeeze out some of their competition on the trucking side.
Yeah, but that don't make me mad neither, because that's just business, bro. Like when you said that the other day about what they're doing about with the invoice backdooring the invoices out to Nolan. I mean, I got to be honest. That's good business.
You know
what I mean?
Listen,
I wouldn't.
They even sponsor the other lady from Carrier Assure. You know Carrier Assure?
I do not.
There's a lawyer chick. She started a thing so you can like vet carriers and stuff. It's called Carrier Assure. She's on their group too. She gets money from them. You gotta go through my video. You're gonna see that. I did a big special on all that. They told the guy that they owed the $50,000 to. They offered to settle with him after the video. He said, "But we need your reviews gone, and we need that video down." And he knew damn well that video wasn't coming down.
Yeah, I'd be interested. I'll check your channel. I'd be interested to hear about OTR owing somebody 50 G's. I mean, what's the backstory on that? Well, why wouldn't they pay him?
It was a whole big racket they were doing. The agent gave the load to his uncle or something. It shouldn't have been to his uncle. The truck parked on the side of the road, and it was soft ground, and ended up flipping. There was an insurance claim. Actually, they owed him more. They owed him over 100, and they said they were taking it out of his money. But then we come to find out that they didn't even put the claim. They didn't even do it right. He actually could go for over 100,000. These guys are snakes, and they're garbage as far as I'm concerned.
So it's an insurance claim issue.
No, that was just one issue, but he was moving shipping containers. So it was some kind of contract project they had, so they were running them like crazy. Even I have a screenshot from years ago where NTG posted a load for 15 cents a mile. I know another agent that used to work for NTG, and he told me they do sneaky stuff. You know? Everyone talks about TQL and stuff. Trust me, NTG has got problems.
Oh, yeah. TQL. See, I don't get mad. Again, back to like what Mark said, the first one to frame it in that perspective for me is like, it ain't cheap freight. For that dude that owns his truck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just is what it is.
Listen, I really gotta go now.
All right, homie, thanks.
I'm gonna pull you up on another screen. Yep, hold on.
I'll talk to you guys.
Go ahead. I'm gonna pull him up on another screen. Yo.
Hey, what was the deal with I missed the crux of the conversation. What's the deal with the immigrants?
we were just
Black
talking
people are
about
starting to figure.
no,
Black people
no.
starting to get mad at him too.
Well, I don't think we're necessarily mad at them as more as they are angry at us. I just think that you know. So here's my thing. When I go on the internet and I see false narratives spewed, and I know I have a platform to speak the truth, and the way that they're speaking, what they're speaking on, I know it's false, and I represent what they don't like. You know what I'm saying? Then it's my place where I have to voice my opinion.
Yeah, what they
The
don't like, which is what they want to be and are not. Right? I mean, that's
exactly. You know what I'm saying? Because I was here, I was born here. You know what I'm saying? I've already been
yeah,
here. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
obviously you're here because wherever you came from, whatever you looking for wasn't there, which brought you here. So I just don't like the fact that, Americans in general get down from immigrants. Yeah, as far as that perspective, because they feel like we're lazy. They feel like we're lazy. We don't want to work. They come over here. They work hard at us, and blah blah blah. And then
yeah.
what
But do they
happens?
though? I mean, do they though? Really? I mean,
uh, well, here's the thing. In some aspects they do, but I look at it from both sides of the equation. Then it goes further when I see people that look like me that come from other countries, third world countries or Africa, wherever you have you, and then they go further. You know what I'm saying? They separate. They take us out and say Black Americans, and they look just like us. They single us out. Do
yeah,
they work harder than us in some aspects? They do, but check this out. You come from nothing. You ain't got shit to do but work. So of course you're gonna work because you got something that you're really, really working for. You're running from something. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So
And
so you can't get mad at some of us, not all of us, that we don't have to work as hard as you. Now there are some lazy Americans out there. All right.
hella,
That
hella, white and black. Like, dude, I don't even. Dude, I try to stay. The racial shit kills me because this thing kind of highlights it. Is because if you thought if there's dis disagreements or cultural animosity between blacks and whites, you see how quick, you know, quote unquote urban communities react when all the motherfuckers start showing up on their doorstep. Now it seems like
Mhm,
black and white Americans don't have, we got a lot more in common than a lot of these people that play on our, that push this left, right, black, white politics. We got a lot more in common than those people want you to know. You know what I mean? And that's the biggest thing to me is just like,
mhm,
I'm not even mad at a person. My people came here from Ireland 150 years ago, bro, or part of my dad's side of the family. It's
mhm,
like you can't be illogical and be mad at someone for coming here and wanting to better their life when that is what this country is supposed to be on paper all about, right? So
mhm,
that does not bother me.
mhm,
What does bother me is, and I don't know what it's like to view it from the black perspective, but just as a dude out there in the mix in a business full of immigrants, it's the like very rarely do I meet one that's fucking polite. You know
mhm,
what I mean?
mhm,
That's my trip is like if I went there, I would make at least a minimal effort, even if I'm not going to be able to speak your language fluently, to kind of get an understanding of like, just
mhm,
how to be polite. You know what I
mhm.
mean?
Yeah,
Culturally
yeah,
speaking, right? Like
yeah.
the whole thing, like we're better. This gets me, and I see. I don't even want to say like
Say
this. Is a
what you want,
very
bro. It's open,
yeah,
bro.
but
This
okay.
what we.
So like
It's not
The Arab dudes kill me with that. What I
what.
just said,
Okay.
fucking rude and disrespectful, and you know what I
So
mean. That's
have you ever
but
have
they're
you
not
ever
all
been over
like that.
there?
That's what I'm saying. I
Have you ever
hesitate
been over there?
because no,
Okay,
no,
that's just how they are. Period. When you go over
exactly. See,
there,
I
that's
don't
how they are.
understand.
When I walked
Right,
through
but
the mall, I heard Americans, Americans, just because of the way we were dressed. My girl, she got tattoos, and I mean, we didn't know. We just told we couldn't go on Facebook. We couldn't do any live, but little cleavage. You know what I'm saying? They're just very. They don't care if you hear them or not. They're gonna say what they is on their mind. Is that what you're saying? They're just blunt or some shit like that?
I think it's just a culture. No, they just don't. A lot of them. And again, when I said hesitate, I'll say whatever I want. I'm not care. I don't give a fuck what anybody
Because
thinks.
Africans are like that too. Africans are like that too.
Right. And so I just don't want to. I hate to stereotype, because the second I start saying that, I'll meet the coolest dude I ever met that's an Arab that, you know, buys me lunch or something. You know what I mean? So
But those are the ones that are Americanized already. The ones that
right.
are listen, the ones that are Americanized, they're cool with you. They'll listen to Lil Baby with you. They'll do all the cool shit that Americans do. It's the ones that are still entrenched in their country's culture. You see what I'm saying? So no, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Plus me just being a white dude in this, you know, bro, I don't see other white dudes driving box trucks unless they're an employee, like an hourly rate driver for some company. So I'm in the mix all the time. I go out of my way to be polite and courteous to everyone, regardless of whether or not I get that back. You know
What
what
do
I
you see
mean?
most of? What do you see most of in box trucks out there? Hispanics
And you already know, y'all got that shit on lock, bro.
out there?
Everywhere. I live in
No, we don't.
Spokane. Spokane's the second biggest city, right, in Washington. And obviously Seattle's on the other side of the state. But all I do mostly is go from Spokane to Seattle. But yeah, you go to that big RNT9, the big, huge distribution center in Tacoma.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's 100 box trucks there. I
All
never
black
seen a white
guys?
boy. Or Arabs, yeah, but almost all black. And a lot of them African immigrants too. The couple
Oh, well,
that
see,
I
see.
go, hey, you know, if I pass you and you got the
Mhm.
vest at the cage, hey, what's up, bro? And you know, I get the accent back. You can tell they're either Caribbean or African or something, but
Right. So
they
they
don't
not.
bug me.
So here's the thing. They don't deem themselves as black. So
See, and that's
they
something
not
I don't understand.
that ain't us. They already done said it. They pit themselves against us. They put themselves with us when it's convenient for them. And I'm not speaking on all of them, because I've met some cool ones. They pit themselves against us when they want, for the most part, because that's how they really feel. But when it benefits them, they with us. You see what I'm saying? So, and I'm not
That's
speaking on all of us. I'm not on all of them. You dig what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
but like, I just played a video before you came up from a guy. I don't know if you saw
I
that
heard it. Yeah,
video.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no, I
So
heard it.
that's how they look at it. And for the life of me, for years, I didn't understand why. You know, anytime I went into like an African establishment, an African owned establishment, why, you know, when I had a conversation with an African, why it seemed like I was looked down on. They looked down on us. You dig what I'm saying? But that guy pretty much explained it why. I really consider myself now like a black American. Even though I know Africa is my descent, but man, I'm like a black American because they don't accept us. They don't want us. They don't even accept us. They say we not African, we American. We've been away too long.
Yeah, I
That's what they
mean,
say.
again, it's just
So like you deem yourself Irish, right?
no, I'm an American. I have Irish
Mm.
ancestry. My last name is Fitzpatrick. I mean, you can't hide it. I'm German and Irish, but I don't. I mean, I'm so far removed. That's not a thing that plays. I mean, except for maybe places like the East Coast where you got like the Italians and the heritage is, you know, a little bit bigger of a deal because you've had such a big city with all these enclaves. Outside of that, like out here, that's not a thing, bro. I have Irish ancestry. I could prove it, but I'm
Somebody,
not. I don't even. I'm not.
somebody,
No, I don't. I think of myself as
somebody,
an American, a Caucasian
somebody,
American.
somebody said,
Yeah,
"Stop, Mark. Stop. What? What I do? What I do? Hit the link. Hit the link. Why don't nobody never want to hit
yeah.
the link? Everybody
That's
got
why.
stuff to say.
That's why it's
Don't nobody want
hard
to hit
for
the
me
link.
to understand. Oh, sorry.
Hard to understand what?
What the issues you're talking about between um, Americans of African descent and African
Well,
immigrants in America, the cultural difference, because that doesn't exist for us. Like, I'm not gonna see a dude. The closest thing I could call, and I do business with the closest thing I could maybe relate that to is working with the Russians. You know what I mean? Because we're white, and that's a cultural difference. And sometimes they can come off as being cold or, assholes, but it's just part of the motherfuckers are just tough, bro. It's just part of their culture. And once that was explained to me, and I've done business with like my homeboy up here, the Ukrainian bro that runs the crosstalk, and his family's got the big company out here. Once I understood that's just a culture thing, it's just me not being aware of how they roll, then that fixed it for me. And so but what I heard that guy say on that video is like he's just saying straight up, we're trying to come take your lunch, fellow black people. You know what I mean? So that's not a thing that really exists in the white community. You know what I mean? So except for maybe, again, if you could come up with an example of maybe, Russian immigrants or something that just got here. But other than that, it's not like.
Well, the conversation initially started because I've been seeing a lot of just, I don't even want to call it hatred, bro. I just been seeing a lot of, well, not even say a lot. I've been seeing a few people on YouTube just perusing that are immigrants talk bad about Americans in the trucking space, and then I've seen some truckers, American truckers, talk bad about immigrants. So I said, all right, let's have a conversation. Now, obviously, I know people are gonna have differences of opinion, and everyone's gonna state their thoughts. But then that's why I put the link up. But people say what they want in the chat, but they won't hit the link. Because like this guy Rick, he said, "Stop, Mark. If you were born and raised in China, you're not Chinese." And I don't
Not
understand.
American, you mean? You mean not American?
I guess he says if you were born and raised in China, you're not Chinese. So I don't
if you're born and raised in
understand. But
China, the only thing you are is Chinese.
that's what I would think. But this person is not going to hit the link to come up to
Yeah. My thing
help
is
me
like, look,
understand
man,
what he means by that. So
if it were up to me, I would probably I would pass a rule that you couldn't even fucking drive a semi truck unless you'd been a citizen or in this country for X amount of years.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't got a problem with anybody coming here and trying to do their thing, but like these dudes can't drive, bro.
Who, the foreign guys?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. See, you guys that are over the road, you guys, it's really coming from you guys. It's not coming from like local guys. It's not coming from like box truck guys that are doing Amazon. It's not like coming from guys that are doing Find Them Out. Like all this is coming from OTR. I'm just creating a platform because the guys that are spewing this shit are OTR guys, but they're spewing their views towards the other on their platform. So I said I'll be the neutral ground to have the conversation, right? But we haven't got anybody up here from.
I do OTR light, bro. The most I'm ever going is like 300 miles, 400 miles. That's it at the most. I don't do any long haul. I've never gone to California, and hopefully never will in this business. I do, the top half of Idaho, Oregon, all of Washington, and Western Montana. That's all I do. And only because I can't find. I've never been able to find, without getting lucky and putting the perfect partial load together. I haven't found. I make more money just out here doing what I'm doing. Why am I going to drive to LA for $2,000 when I can? You know what I mean? It don't make no sense. I make more money up here, but I don't hate nobody, dude. Here's my thing. As long as there's enough work, I do believe. As long as there's enough work for the people that are here, the natives, and that would be of all races, Americans, then there should be X amount of space carved out for X amount of people to come here and try their hand at this capitalist system that we've got that is the best that's ever worked despite all of its flaws. But, I see where people get grumpy when there's not you don't perceive a whole lot of gratitude coming back. And I'm not the one that allowed you to come here, but it just seems like, oh boy, talking about you guys, it's like, that's what I could do without. I mean, just come here and be happy and, be happy that you're here.
And that's the thing.
It doesn't do you or your peoples any good by creating hostility.
And
because
that's
eventually, if you look throughout history, Every
Mhm.
time that's happened, a certain group of people has gone into somebody else's space
Mhm.
and not acclimated. And what's the word I'm looking for? Uh, I can't think of it now, but where you go somewhere, adopt the native culture.
Mhm.
And you look at that, and a lot of times you've had your uprisings, and the native people rose up and went and got those people out of there, and so
Yeah.
that's how the
Yeah.
seeds for shit like that, like the Holocaust and things like that, are planted. I think, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I just don't,
Yeah.
I don't waste.
Yeah.
I'm cool with anybody that's cool with me,
Yeah.
you know, until
Yeah.
they
Me
start
too.
saying white dudes, so they start saying white people can't drive between the
But you
hours
don't.
X, Y, and Z. I'm gonna, I'm gonna,
But
I'm gonna,
but but
I'm gonna stay in my lane. But
but yeah, and I kind of agree with you. I really don't care what nobody does. I just don't like the fact, as far as my perspective on it, not from what I've been seeing on the internet with the OTR shit, but from what I take from it. I just don't listen. I don't care where a person comes from. Like what other people are
nah,
doing to make money, that shit ain't got shit to do with me. I don't give a goddamn if you green, blue, or yellow. But when you come and you're complaining about it and you're talking down on the
yeah,
people, I don't agree with that. That's what I don't like. You came over here. We didn't come over there. You came over here, make your money
yeah,
and mind your business. You dig like this whole shit talking and frowning upon and down it. I just feel like a person could go at. Because here's the thing: if I go somewhere and I'm outside my element and I've been granted an opportunity to make a better way than where I came from, and I'm in foreign land, I'm going to show the utmost respect.
yeah.
I'm going to show the
Without even
utmost
being,
respect. I'm going to mind my business
yeah, without being told, probably. You know what I
without
mean?
being told. The
Without
last thing I'm
being
going
told
to
that,
the last thing I'm going to do is come and be cocky. Like
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
come
I
like
catch a
that shit.
fucking attitude from these dudes, and I don't get it. But at the same day, I don't let it affect me. And here's the other thing: is that we're gonna be talking about this type of thing. Uh, it's very easy to fall into that trap of blaming the other, right? Blaming somebody else for your own problems, and cultural ignorance or attitudes aside, these people have come over here to work, and that's what they're doing, right? So,
Mm,
like,
let them.
it's very
Yeah.
easy to fall into that trap of start hating people, and you glump pretty soon. You don't like that. You don't like all of them just because you've had a couple bad interactions. And so I constantly try to just keep myself in perspective of, like, if I start thinking like that, I just, I check myself and try to just always, very simple, man. Just treat people the way you want to be treated. It's a reason that advice has been there since the beginning, because it's common sense. And so, um, that's how you get a lot of these, real racist people and things like that. You're gonna hate somebody, but you only met three of them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's just whatever.
Yep. Yep. But other than that, everything is good, man. Long time no talk. Haven't seen you on the
Yeah,
pop
no,
up in a while.
yeah, everything's good, man. It's just, how it is. It's like I only got enough time to do this business. I haven't had really good luck with employees. I've scaled up twice. I had
Mm-hmm.
2 trucks, and then I had 3, and it's just every time now I'm back to just me, myself, and I, just because, like, I'm not trying to sound, arrogant, but it's like these dudes ain't built like me, bro. I don't think, or something.
Well,
Either that, or it's the thing where people just don't. If it's not your
well,
company, I understand you're not gonna give a fuck about it as much as I do. But
yeah.
so I'm just looking at little things I can do, and trying to figure out a way I can step out of this truck a little more. I just signed another year lease with Enterprise. Well, that's another thing you might want to do a show about is uh, uh, so I had an interesting thing happen to me the other day. I was dropping off a load in a residential neighborhood and just fixing to back up and hook into this guy's driveway.
Mm,
I'd look out my window, and there's this kid in a suit, like he just came from an office job, standing there. I was like, "What's up?" And he's like, "Hey, this is such and such from Penske. I see you're dropping off a load. You rent this from Enterprise?" blah, 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 blah. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I gave him props for getting after it like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I took his info or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
the short version is that Penske is trying to, they're trying to offer me the world to switch. And all I did was mention it to Enterprise, and they dropped my fucking rate $300 and 6 cents a mile because I don't know if you know, but or other people know that these box truckers are dropping like flies. They've got a surplus of trucks now, whereas they didn't used to. So if you're
Yeah, we
not
talk
getting an
about.
amazing rate, if you ain't out there getting the rate you think you deserve, you're doing
Mm-hmm.
something wrong because they're ready to make deals right now.
I've been telling people that, but
Yeah.
people accept, like a lot of these guys that are just getting into the business and they go inquire at Penske and Enterprise, they accept the first offer they give them because they don't know that they can
Yep.
negotiate. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? They don't know that they can negotiate. So that's what happens. These guys, these lots, and I said it on a live show a few weeks ago, they're cold calling me. They're cold calling me. And I haven't had any activity with Penske since 2019. And
When I
they're
started
digging that far back to cold call. So
when I started with started this, I originally reached out to Penske first. This is January of 22, probably. I was making the first calls. Penske was like, they wanted like $4,500 at like 25 cents a mile. So I already knew
yeah.
that wasn't going to work. I went to
Mm-hmm.
Enterprise. They were talking like, I don't remember what their normal rate was at the time, but it was maybe 2,700 or something. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like doing the math, and I'm like, that first year of insurance is already expensive. So I signed a 2-year lease. You want to talk about rolling the dice, bro? I signed a 2-year lease with these people for $2,300 a month and 18 cents a mile, and that just expired. And so they lowered it down to 2012 cents a mile. So I signed it. I extended it for a year. Um, so, you know, I don't know, man. I'm worried about this freight market. I'm gonna tough it out for a year because I'm also an electrician. So at the end of the day, I could just do enough money. I could do enough. If everything fell apart, I could do enough loads to pay the bills, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I got about
Well,
another year. I got another year left in me unless I can figure out a way to scale up and get some drivers. But my kid's
I'm gonna
gonna be
be honest
7
with
in
you.
October.
I'm
What's
gonna be
that?
honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. And I talk about this on the channel all the time, but now you're living proof that everything I talk about, I know what I'm talking about. Scaling up in a box truck, as far as finding dedicated drivers, is gonna be hard, man.
Yeah,
Your
it is.
margins, so here's the thing, especially with the current rate like of inflation, how it's just outpacing wage growth. Like
It's
like
insane,
what
bro.
what what can you honestly pay a box truck driver? Honestly, what can you pay him for a day right now?
I had it clicking with the little program I had because I'm just trying to do split between my OTR, which again, my OTR is 5 hours away to Seattle. I'm not going to fucking Minnesota. My little OTR with all my little brokers and what I can pull off the DAP board and the Amazon board. I'm trying to have a dude was trying to have a guy working 5 days a week. And when the last guy I had working with me slept in and missed 2 Amazon loads that he had for the day, and threw my score, fucked my score all up for how that whole thing works. I had it just got it clicking perfect where I had the same Amazon routes for him and enough other freight that I could pay him I could pay him $1,500 a week, and he still
Mm-hmm.
fucked it up. And
Mm-hmm.
it just totally took any desire I have to have, and it was working. That's with me. So if the truck's doing 20 and I'm paying him 5, 6, I'm after fuel, I'm probably I might make $3,500 to $5,000 off that a month, off that other truck. You know what I mean? So that's all right. I take home about 10 with mine every month. So
Mm-hmm.
that's good money, but you just can't. I mean, you would think $5,000 a month or
Will
six
motivate a
because it's
person to get their
1,500 a
ass up to
week,
come to work. Will motivate a person to get their ass up and come to
bruh.
work.
Yeah, then people don't understand. Like when I say you can never be late for Amazon under no circumstances. Like a dude might not just like brush that off. Oh, whatever. That's just your boss telling you not to be late. No, motherfucker. The score drops. Then these people. I got an Amazon probation officer named Cynthia.
So what's crazy to me since you said that, and I can't. I'm surprised I never thought of this. There's influencers, like big influencers for Amazon, that say they run Amazon. They got multiple trucks running, but I never hear them talk about their score going down and shit like that. And I know they got to be
Oh,
facing the
bro.
same challenges
So
of employment and shit and fucking up their score, but it's like everything is always peaches and roses and fucking dandelions and
uh,
shit.
Amazon's my backup, but I don't. I mean, there might be somebody out there that knows more about it than me, but I don't think, I doubt it. As far as how it works, identifying all the
No,
fulfillment centers in your area, and it ain't
it,
all. It's all good, except I mean, it ain't all good. Amazon's my backup, so they pay shit. Number one. Number two, if you're running postal routes, pull it up. I don't know about how it is anywhere else, but out here in out of the Tacoma, which is their big facility. And I respect Amazon. I like Amazon. I just don't always like doing freight for them. But the
Mhm.
they're giving you 12. See, and I will never do a post office route except for maybe an exception once in a while. I will never do a postal route that has more than one stop. I leave the Amazon building, I go to one post office because that's a trick bag. That's how you get your score blown up. Because if you look on there, they give you 12 minutes, bro, to get in and out of a post office. If you got a multi-stop load, you're hitting 3, 4 post offices. It it mandates that you get out of that Amazon building early, ahead of schedule. So if the load
Mhm.
starts at 7:30, okay, if you're like me, I'm trying to get there an hour early and just get every minute. They won't let you into the building now, fit more than 30 minutes before the scheduled start time of your load. These people don't have it already, so I'm sitting there waiting for the next pallet, waiting for the next pallet. So if you get out of there on time and you got 4 stops, you're late.
Hmm.
They give you 12 minutes, bro. I can't even park at the Yakima post office. Yakima is a big city in Central Washington, not that big, but anyway, it's a big postal hub for that area. I mean, you might be waiting for the dock for a half hour. It's like, and so then you got to go through this process of ROC, telling them, giving them your reasons why you're late, and it's a crapshoot 50-50 whether or not they're going to be like, okay, that's okay, or
Mhm.
no, you're hit, and you take that late. Well, you start getting too many lates, you'll get an escalation, and then it's going to be on 3 strikes, you're out. The next late, we're going to take your load board for 3 days. The next late, and these terms are framed within a 6-week period because that's how far Amazon goes back for performance score. The next late, we're going to take it for 3 days. The next one is going to be a week. And if you get another one in that 6 week, boom, you're done. No questions asked. We're taking your load board. Your company can no longer work with Amazon. I got within one because of that dude who missed those loads. 2 rejections one day, and then I got a late after that where I was like 5 minutes late, and so I just didn't do Amazon for 6 weeks. I just hung it up. You know what I mean? And just went and did other stuff. But
Mhm.
Amazon's really good when, there are people I think in other parts of the country that know something I don't, that love it that much. I mean, I appreciate them for the money that they've allowed me to make to help feed my family. And, I wish that I could get with, and that's the other thing. It's like one big robot. I wish I could talk to someone in whatever department it is so I could just lay out for them a couple very easy things. You're not catering things to make Mike's life easier. Just this is how you could do things a little better for us. You know what I mean? And it would be a lot better. But at the end of the day, Amazon doesn't care. They're the biggest company in the world, and I probably wouldn't if I were them either. So,
They're not the
um,
biggest. They're not the biggest. The
well, they're
biggest or
no,
the
not in the whole.
richest?
I mean, yeah, I mean I misspoke when I said the biggest. They're probably not the biggest necessarily or the richest, but they're the big. I mean, 50% of all online transactions go through that one company. They're
Mhm.
buying up everything, as you probably know. I, you might be
They
surprised, all you people out there. You're pulling up to a warehouse, such and such city. That warehouse might be owned by Amazon, or that logistics park might be owned by Amazon. You know what I mean? Their
they've
money, they got big. They're buying up everything. It's not just
they,
their buildings.
they've slowed down on buying though. I think in the past year.
Well, maybe I
They,
don't track it like
they,
that. I just know that some of the one of the big warehouses I went into, um, the load I was doing all the time,
s- s-
the company that had it had to get up out of there because they was like Amazon's doing something else with it. So
Yeah, so they were building warehouses during the pandemic. It's a few of them here, and they built them and they just abandoned them.
no, I'm not
That's
talking
when
about there's that's the thing too. There's two of them in Pasco, Washington. I'm talking about just regular, nondescript,
you talking about the cross
commercial,
docks.
logistic.
The cross docks. You're
Yeah,
talking about the cross docks.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's cross docks, warehouses. Just that don't say Amazon aren't going to be Amazon buildings. They're
Hmm.
buying up a lot of commercial real estate.
Yeah. It's,
Like you see those places, PROLOGIS, Lodges.
Prologis. Yeah, Prologis.
Yeah, so I don't know if Amazon owns those, but those are the
No.
type of places. Those are the type of places that I'm talking about. That they might just own that spot.
Yeah, Prologis
So
has been around for a long time.
hey, well,
Yeah.
look, man, I want to do a testimonial sometime in the near future, and give you a success story for once. We could talk about a lot of this stuff. Uh, the horror. I tune in for the horror show. That's what I call it, the horror stories. It
Yeah.
makes me sad, bro, because these dudes, this stuff isn't really that hard, man. But you see these guys just tripping over their own 2 feet, and you know, it's just sad to me.
It's not hard, but people. It's like I say. It's like you got a few people out here that are preaching the gospel and the right way to do things, but there's way more people preaching some other shit. So the other shit, because it's a lot more of it and it sounds more appealing, that's what people go with. Whatever sounds appealing, whatever sounds easy, that's what people go with. When you tell a person,
Yeah,
the truth and you're honest with them, and that honesty sounds like it's a hard road, people don't want to go down that road. They rather just try their luck on the
yeah.
shit that sounds more appealing.
Everybody wants something for nothing, man. But
Yeah. So.
yeah, it's easy. Just jump into box trucking. You'll make $10,000 a week.
You
It's
know
fucking
what?
crazy.
But you know what? There was once upon a time that narrative that was being spewed on the internet was true, and it was 2021. After
Bro,
2021, that shit was it. You see what I'm saying?
yeah. We'll talk against you. I actually literally gotta go to my truck right now. But
I got you.
what I would really like for you to do, because I don't know that I don't have the information, the knowledge. Maybe Axel does. I'd like to see a history of trucking podcast. You know what I want to know is, and a million people could probably answer this very easily. How were dudes booking loads before the DAT app? Where you do
You don't
fax
you
machines and
you don't know that?
nah. I jumped into this, bro, as an electrician. I just saw my buddy doing Amazon and did my little research, and here I am. But I don't have any other trucking experience other
Truck
than me box
stops.
trucking out
Truck
here.
stops. Truck stops. So you got to understand, before deregulation, OTR kind of really didn't exist. Like, routes were owned by certain companies, and only those companies could run those particular routes.
Yeah,
right?
see, I want to know about all that.
So loads were picked at truck stops. Like, you go into a truck stop now, there was a board, a physical board, right? But your thought of OTR, your thought of OTR now, it used to be like that prior to deregulation. Like, shit was ran. So like, you might run something from, let's say, your state to like maybe a state over, and then it would go to a terminal, and then that terminal would take it from that state, maybe 2 more states over, go to a terminal, so on and so forth. But here's the thing, that particular route was only owned by one company. All right, when deregulation came around, it opened it up to everybody. The load board came, everybody can bid on it. It brought more competition, which obviously was set to lower the rates, because what they realized back then is that if they didn't deregulate it, what we're dealing with now with inflation, it would be 100 times worse. You follow where I'm going?
No, 100%. It was a monopoly.
Correct.
Yeah, so
competition drives down rates. But as far as that, the board was concerned, there was physical boards at truck stops, and you would just pluck loads off the physical
I wondered
board.
that, and then I just ain't taking the time to go ask somebody that knew. But it'd be cool to see a history of trucking episode or something like that. But I gotta go, bro. I love you to death. Keep doing what you're doing, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yep, appreciate you, bro.
Yep.
Later.
All right, you guys. So I guess then nobody else want to come up. Appreciate Axel for coming up. D, Isaac, Mike. Who else came up? Did I miss somebody? If I missed you, I apologize. Everybody that came up and joined in on the topic, I appreciate you. Listen, the topic was just to have the discussion. Like, this is a topic that it seems like is, a lot of people are talking about, but they're not providing people the opportunity to express it from maybe their side of the fence. It's just negativity being spewed toward one group of people, and then negativity being spewed back from the other group of people back the other way. So I just wanted to open up the platform to people that can voice their opinion, and if they had differences of opinion, it could be debated, and hopefully everybody could come to one opinion or one accord and agree to disagree or whatever. But sometimes it doesn't work out like that. We didn't get anybody that was up here tonight that was an immigrant. Maybe we'll run it back again at a later time. I'm pretty sure the video or the live stream will circulate somewhat throughout the trucking sphere of YouTube, and maybe I'll get some people that might want to run it back, and we can have a planned panel so that the discussion uh you know can be, I guess, more formal, I guess it would be the right word. But appreciate everybody that came up. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. It's not only Amazon but the drivers who are hooking up your score violation with DOT. Greetings to you, Mr. Barr. Shout out to you, Frank. Shout out to Moving Company Hustle. I see you in the building. Shout out to everybody, Pippi. Shout out to you. Shout out to the moderators. All right, until next time, I am out. Peace.